Oh, you ready? All right, we're gonna move it right along. Again, I say good evening to everyone, and thank you all so very much for joining us this evening. It's a pleasure for us to come together, and the show of support that we've seen tonight, I like what I see. We're going to move into the first segment after I'm calling this meeting to order, and then we're gonna go directly into a moment of silence. Thank you all very much for that. At this time, would you please join me as we salute the flag? Everyone please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. You may be seated. At this time, we will have our roll calls. Clerk to the council, Mrs. Fairmount, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Mayor Lillian Martin.
Present.
Councilmember Waiters.
Present.
Councilmember Stewart.
Present.
Councilmember White.
Present.
Councilmember Wood Dotson. Councilmember Barnhart.
Present.
Councilmember Oscar.
All right, that's it. All right, thank you very much, Mrs. Spann. We're going to move on down. And our next order of business is, we're gonna actually do our swearing in now for our new chief. And I want you all to give him a great round of applause. And just want to let you know that we've been waiting on you.
Yeah.
So it's going to be such a wonderful working relationship that we can feel it. And I know with your judgment and your quality that coming from the Sheriff's Department, you bring all these essential items that we need here in the town. And we like your proposal that you've given us. So we look forward to moving on. Yes. And may the grace of God be with us, because without him, we are nothing. We are nothing. Yeah, so at this time, we will actually do our swearing in. Chief, would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I state your name. State your name. Do swear or affirm.
Do swear or affirm.
That I will support the Constitution.
That I will support the Constitution.
Of the United States.
Of the United States.
And that I will be faithful.
And that I will be faithful.
And bear true allegiance.
And bear true allegiance.
To the state of Maryland.
To the state of Maryland.
And support the Constitution.
And support the Constitution.
And laws thereof.
And laws thereof.
And that I will.
And that I will.
To the best of my skill and judgment.
And to the best of my skill and judgment.
Diligently and faithfully.
Diligently and faithfully.
Without partiality or prejudice.
Without partiality or prejudice.
Execute the position.
Execute the position.
Of Chief of Police.
Of Chief of Police.
For the town of Fairmount Heights.
For the town of Fairmount Heights.
According to the Constitution.
According to the Constitution.
And the laws.
And the laws.
Of this town and state.
And this town and state.
May God bless you. Consider yourself.
Yes, sir.
We are so thank you.
Chief.
I'm gonna sign right there, right there, right there. Say it again.
Chief, speak. Yes, sir. Wait. Lock in.
Yeah.
Lock in.
Now is your time. Your time in history.
I'm ready. Y'all don't know
You are so welcome. You don't need the mic. All right, all
Briefly,
right.
first, thank you to the mayor and the council for your trust.
Yeah.
Thank you to my wife,
Yes.
my dad,
Yeah.
my brother, my
Uh-huh.
sisters, my family. All these people here are my family.
Oh, yes.
Chief High, I'm sorry, Sheriff High, Sheriff-elect Carr, all the other chiefs, captains, sergeants, corporals, everybody here who does this job every day. I love you and I appreciate you. I had so many people reach out to me so far for support, and I'm gonna need it.
Yes.
So, to my old supervisors, I appreciate you for grooming me along the way. To the mayor and the council, I'm looking forward to getting into this town, meeting and greeting everybody, and doing my job. So, last but not least, I just want to thank my wife. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, Chief, we appreciate you also. And we definitely look forward to working with you and with your family, because it's all part of a big family. It's the family of humanity. Yes, yes. Oh, yes, it's been wonderful. And going forward, Chief, this particular copy, you're gonna have a copy of this. Normally we have it, so we keep one in the back. I don't know whether Ms. Tucker's already done it or not, but you can just give him a copy of just that page and he can take the whole folder.
Okay.
We'll keep the copy. Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry. You know, just like in church, we have to make an announcement. Someone's parked the wrong way, and we have a police chief now, so. We'll start issuing tickets. Someone, what kind of car is it? Lexus? You're blocking
On the curb,
traffic?
on the corner?
Yes.
I saw that young lady.
You can just move it, and we wish you would come on back.
Lexus
Truck? Truck, on
Yes.
the corner, right here.
Yes, it's actually gonna be. It's not
Man, my first picture.
Okay. Yes, yes. All right. Well, again, I say thanks to all who came for the swearing in. If you all would like to join us for our regular meeting, you're more than welcome. We're gonna go on and get started. We have a few agenda items that we have to finish up, and we have some reports, some, staff reports, and from the mayor and council report. So if you all would like to stay, you're more than welcome. There is water over on the table if you would like water.
Oh, look. I don't know when that check is supposed to come in that mail, but it's already in the box. Let me know if you don't get it. How long is it to be? I appreciate that. Like he said before, we family. No, thank you.
Okay, all right. Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank y'all for coming.
Yeah, I was trying to move some more. Get in my shot. Ready?
Testing one.
Okay. It's under a normal town meeting link, correct? All right.
You need it back.
We're going to go on and resume our meeting, our regular meeting. As we enter this meeting, I have a request to read this into the record. This is information that was a resolution, and the resolution was FHR 04-16. It was introduced during Mayor Waiter's term of office. It was introduced on February the 9th, 2016. It's a resolution adopting the meeting rules of the Town Council of Fairmount Heights. Whereas Section 1-11 of Article 3 of the Charter of the Town of Fairmount Heights states that the council shall determine its own rules and order of business. And whereas the objective of rules ensure that the town business is dealt with in a timely, complete, and in an appropriate fashion, and whereas the rules ensure that issues are thoroughly explored, necessary decisions are made, and citizens with concerns or recommendations are given the opportunity to be heard. Whereas the rule states the order in which all meetings will be conducted and the guidelines that each council member is to adhere to. Now therefore be it resolved that the council and mayor of Fairmount Heights adopt the meeting rules of the town of Fairmount Heights by signing resolution FHR 04-16. Be it further resolved that all terms and conditions as stated in the meeting rules of the town council of Fairmount Heights go into effect immediately. This was done on the 17th of February in the year 2016. This was signed off on by the mayor and all of the council members except one. So this is the rule, this is the law here in the town. We want to make sure that everyone is aware. So the idea came forward to read this into the to the record so that everyone can be aware of it. That's basically, it is for the council members. And when it says council, that includes the mayor also, so. That is here, and I wanted you all to see that. There was something that I neglected to do. I don't know whether the chief is still here, but I wanted to say that the car that we received today at about 2:30 from Forest Heights Police Department is here, and it's outside. So if the chief is here, I would like to present him with the key. We have a, Chief, would you please come forward? Today, we received the paperwork and the car from Forest Heights. And I really want to make sure that we make this a matter of record so that Forest Heights will realize that we appreciate what they have done. They have given us a car that is on the lot, and it's out there, and here is the title, here is all of the other paperwork. We have to notarize this form here and send this back over to Forest Heights. We're gonna email it to them or either send it over by fax. But I wanted to present you with the key to it, to let you know that we've been doing the research, trying to get you something to drive other than the ones that we have. And I'm not saying that we're not gonna be able to get some other cars, but this will be something starting off, and it's parked on the lot.
Okay.
So it's about the third or fourth car down on the lot.
Okay.
This is the key to it. This paperwork here, I'll keep this,
Okay.
because we need to scan this back over to them.
Thank you
Okay?
very much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
and before your trip, as you go,
Thank you.
take your vacation, everything, enjoy, and we already know when you come back, if you know you come back, you'll be ready for it.
I'll be
You'll
working
ready.
while I'm there.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, okay.
Thank you.
There's only one key, don't lose.
Have a good one now.
Thank you.
All right now. All right, we're gonna proceed on down. Okay, that part is out of the way. The meeting rules, did everyone get the copy of these meeting rules? I just read them into the record, but did everyone get your copies
I don't see my.
of the meeting rules? Okay, you can make a copy out of this one here. You don't have to worry about running to get that. You can make a copy off of this one. Okay. All right, so we have that out of the way. Our next item is, we have the summaries for our special meetings and our closed sessions. There were, well, one was August the 30th, one was September the 13th, and one was September the 15th. Do you have the order on those, Mrs. Spann, ready to read those into the record?
Yes, Mayor, I'm not sure if you all have had the chance or opportunity to look at them, so I would encourage you to look at them now, make sure that they need to approve it.
Where are they?
They should be sitting right in front of you. You have. All of you should have it in the record.
Okay.
There should be-
Okay. All right, well, let me look at somebody else's there, because that mine, I don't have a copy. Did everyone else, did you all get your copies
Yes.
of the summary?
You have a copy?
Okay. No, I said I don't have it here.
For September
Okay.
13th and 15th.
And you should have, August, okay, August.
We'll either make a copy, we'll go to the next item, I'll make a copy, and you guys can come back to that.
Okay, we can, I think they can read it. No, it's just going into the record. It didn't say anything about we had to approve them or anything, but anyway. Okay. So, all right, I can read along with you.
Yeah, I can work on stuff now. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, closed meeting for personal matters, candidate new chief of police, August 30th, 2022. Opening by Mayor Martin, convening in an open session to vote on a motion to go into a closed session per the statutory authority for this portion to be a closed session is contained pursuant to section 3-305B1I of the general provision article of the Antidote Code of Maryland to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance matters. Vote to close. Notice was given on the town website of a closed session. Council member Patricia Waiters made a motion, second by Councilmember Brianna White, that the mayor and town council agreed in a closed session. Closing is authorized by the Maryland State Government article to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of an appointee, employee, or officials over whom the public body has jurisdiction or any other personal matter that affects one or more specific individuals. In an open meeting, a motion to close was carried with no opposing. Those who voted to move in closed session, Mayor Martin, I'm sorry, Councilmember Waiters, Councilmember Stewart, Councilmember White, Councilmember Wood Dodson, Councilmember Barnhart. Councilmember Oscar was absent at the time of the vote, but arrived at 7:30. The Mayor and Town Council met in closed session on August 30th, 2022, from 7:10 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. in the Fairmount Heights Town Hall Municipal Center. Mayor Martin, Councilmember Waiters, Councilmember Stewart, Councilmember White, Councilmember Wood Dodson, Councilmember Barnhart, Mrs. Sarumi, and the new hiree, Stanford Moore Jr. were present. Topics discussed were Stanford Moore Jr.'s qualifications for the position of Chief of Police. He was properly vetted and presented to the council. Meeting was adjourned at 8:30 p.m. Typed by Dr. Arlene Spann, clerk to the council. Summary of the Town of Fairmount Heights emergency closed session, September 13th, 2022. Opening, the Mayor Martin convened in an open session to vote, and this is going to be the same as what we said before in a closed session. Further statutory authority for this portion to be a closed session is contained pursuant to the section 3-305B1I of the General Provisions Articles of Antidote Code of Maryland to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance matters. To protect the privacy or reputation of individuals concerning a matter not related to public business, to discuss public safety in the public body determined by the public discussion would constitute a risk to the public or the public security, including the deployment of fire or police services and staff. Letter I, the development and implementation of emergency plans authorized by General Provisions, Article Sections 3-305. Vote to close the session. While citizens were on the open work session Zoom, the conference line, and those present, an emergency notice was given of the need for an emergency closed session. Councilmember Brianna White made a motion, seconded by Councilmember Wood Dodson, that the Mayor and Town Council meet in an emergency closed session because of a disruption by a citizen during work session. Closing is authorized by the Maryland State Government article to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of employees, or officials over whom the public body has jurisdiction or any other personal matter that affects one or more specific individuals. Number 2, to protect the privacy or reputation of individuals concerning a matter not related to public business. Number 10, to discuss public safety in a public body, determine that the public discussion would constitute a risk to the public or the public security, including the deployment of a fire and police services and staff, and the development and implementation of emergency plans authorized by General Provisions, Article Sections 3-305A, being open, in open meetings, being carried at an open meeting with no opposing, and a correction needs to be made. Those who voted to move in closed session, Mayor Martin, Councilmember Waiters, Councilmember Stewart, Councilmember White, Councilmember Wood Dodson, Councilmember Barnhart. Councilmember Oscar was absent. The Mayor and Council met in an emergency closed session on September 13th, 2022, from 10:37 p.m. to 11:25 p.m. in the Fairmount Heights Town Hall Municipal Center. Mayor Martin, Councilmember Waiters, Councilmember Stewart, Councilmember White, Councilmember Wood Dodson, Councilmember Barnhart, and the clerk of the council were present. Topics discussed were as of an unruly citizen being barred from the municipal building, and a letter being sent to counsel the employee possibly putting the town in a dangerous situation. Councilmember Wood Dodson made a motion. Councilmember Akiva Stewart seconded. Meeting was adjourned at 11:25 p.m. Summary, September 15th, 2022. open meeting by the mayor convening an open meeting to vote on a motion to go into a closed session per the statutory authority. For this portion to be a closed session is contained pursuant to 3-30B7 to consult with counsel, thank you, to obtain legal advice on a legal matter. Vote to close. Councilmember Breonna White made a motion. Councilmember Akiva Stewart should be second by Councilmember Akiva Stewart that the mayor and town council meet in a closed session. Closing is authorized by the Mayor and State Government Article and Article 3-305B7 to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice on a legal matter. During the open meeting, a motion was carried with no opposing. Those who voted to move in closed session, Mayor Martin, Councilmember Waiters, Councilmember Stewart, Councilmember White, Councilmember Wood-Johnson, and Councilmember Barnhart. Councilmember Oscar was absent. The Mayor and Town Council met in a closed session on September 15, 2022 from 7:14 p.m. to 9:25 p.m. in the Fairmount Heights Town Hall Municipal Center. Municipal Building. Mayor Martin, Councilmember Waiters, Councilmember Stewart, Councilmember White, Councilmember Wood-Johnson, Councilmember Barnhart, Attorney Deloach, and the clerk of the council were present. Topics discussed were legal matters concerning UCAP, legal chain of command, rules of the charter, and upcoming litigation with the police department. Councilmember Jacqueline Wood-Johnson made a motion. Councilmember Akiva Stewart second to adjourn. Meeting was adjourned at 9:25 p.m. Second by Dr. Owens.
Okay, that was the last of it?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. All right. We're going to move on down to our next agenda item, which is our treasurer's report. Mrs. Walker.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and citizens and staff. I'm reporting this evening as of the end of August. This is the same information that I shared at the work session. I will just summarize for the citizens. As of the end of August, our income under general revenue, which includes our property taxes, building permits, and operating properties, $28,169. Our intergovernment transfers, which include revenue from our income taxes, police save, state highway user fees, $31,082.26. Other revenue, which includes revenue from our building hall rentals, our parking lot, fees for service, cable franchise, and other small accounts, $18,949.25, for a total of $78,200.51. During the meeting, I did point out that we received, I broke down the Comcast and the Verizon revenue that we've received as of August. So from Comcast, we received $2,523. From Verizon, we received $5,353. I also pointed out that we received revenue from tax liens that our code enforcement officer had gone to court for. Under our expenses for administration and general government, our total expenses as of the end of August, $39,317.18. I did point out that we received dividends from our workers' comp of $3,500. No expenses for election, legislative expenses were $7,770.42. Municipal, which includes the upkeep of the building, maintenance throughout the town, total expenses were $5,667.51. Public safety, $10,950.52. Public works, $53,184, and then citizen events, $1,339. So our total expenses were $118,229. Our total revenue was $78,200. So our net loss was $40,028. And I did share that during the summer, that's the time we received the least amount of revenue for the town. Our revenue increases during September and October when we begin to get our tax money. During the last meeting, We also discussed a couple things, and so I just wanted to update since that meeting. I did share with the mayor and council a summary of the proposals for the tree removal, alley cleaning, speed humps, and World War II renovations. You do have copies of all of those proposals in your mailbox. I know, again, that we're not going to make decisions tonight, but you do have those, so we can go over them and make a decision which way we want to go. At that meeting, Ms. Barnhart, you asked me to follow up with other municipalities regarding their speed humps, and I have reached out to a few municipalities. I've given them the parameters that we used so they could give a comparison, apples to apples, so they know how many streets we were trying to cover, how many speed humps our vendors proposed. And so as soon as at least maybe 2 respond, then I can share that information, and you guys will have a comparison. Just so that citizens are aware, the mayor and council, we are looking to install speed humps. It's going to be in phases. We can't do everything at one time because you're going to use highway user funds for that. The determination of which areas to use, that came from previous personnel based upon speeding in the areas, tickets that were issued. So that's one area, and then we're going to, continue to look at other areas. We also are looking at other options to control traffic and to control speeding throughout the town. So we have talked about moving forward with looking at speed cameras as well as electronic devices that let you know what your speed is. I was asked to look at a digital sign, a digital stop sign, in one particular area by the monument. And so that sign would be about $1,000. That $1,000 does not include installation, so I am asking the vendor to include installation in that. But certainly there may be other areas where those signs would be beneficial, and because if we order more than one, we can get a reduced price. But at least we have the information that we need for that one area, because that area was apparently a critical area. During that meeting, I did also share that for all municipalities, we received our bill from PG County late for our gas for last fiscal year. And so I just wanted to share what our expenses were for last fiscal year. So from July through December, the first part of the year, $7,638. From January through March, $2,313. And for April and May, $2,564. So I did reach out to the county because they didn't provide, normally they give us a breakdown to say which vehicles, and that's important for us to know which vehicles we need to apply those expenses to. And so we have not received that, but as soon as we receive that, then we can allocate those expenses. Even though it's after the end of the year, we still have to allocate those expenses. The mayor and council will be meeting this Saturday, and citizens, everyone's invited to come out to meet with the mayor and council. They're going to meet with you all regarding the use of ARPA funds. Since the last meeting, and this just happened Monday, I did not know until I received the bank statement from Ms. Tucker, so I was very happy to find out that we received our second deposit for ARPA, so $303,644.41. So the town of Fairmount Heights, you now have all of your highway user funds. And so again, when you meet with the mayor and council on Saturday. Highway user or ARPA? I'm sorry, did I say highway user? Yeah. I'm so sorry, ARPA, okay. I'm sorry, yes. My excitement is making me not think well. So you have all of your ARPA funds that you have been awarded. And so when you meet on Saturday, mayor and council will share information, the plans that they have come up with, as well as hear from the citizens, uses for ARPA. And I'm sorry, I had quite a few things I wanted to go over. And so, but I think I covered everything, because I said you have the proposals in front of you, mm-hmm. And that's the information I wanted to also update on in particular on the speed humps, because I was asked to update on that. So those are the main things I wanted to share at this time. Yes, ma'am.
When you said the gas bill, that's for the vehicles, right?
For the vehicles, yes.
What line item does that come out of on the budget?
Okay, so if you go under, so for public safety, 6160, fuel for vehicles, and then under public works, 7050, fuel slash road tax.
Cause both of those say 1,200, you said 7,000 for one and 2,000 for another?
This is, yeah, that was last fiscal year, but yes, we're gonna need to do a line item adjustment for that, for this year. But these bills are for last fiscal year. So even though they were reflected this fiscal year, they're for last fiscal year. So we will have to do an adjustment for that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Walker, the ARC full fund, so for some that don't know, the full amount that the town was awarded.
Sure, give me 1 second. All right, so the full award was $607,288.83. We received $303,644.44 on October the 5th, 2021. As I shared, you just received the second part of it. All funds have to be obligated by December 31st, 2024, and obligated funds must be spent by December 31st, 2026. Okay. All righty. Thank you.
Ms. Walker, you have one more.
Yes,
Can
ma'am.
you elaborate on the area you said for the initial speed hump?
Yes. Yes.
Estimated, please?
Sure. Speed humps. So the initial proposal, the RFP went out to install speed humps at the following locations: 58th Avenue, 59th Avenue, 60th Avenue, 60th Place, 61st Avenue, and J Street.
Which part of J Street, because it's 3 different J Streets.
I'd have to be looking at the map. I can show you better. I can show you better than I can tell you.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
I'm sorry, one more question. So 61st Avenue, is that where the speed camera was previously installed many years ago?
The
Like
speed
61st
camera was
and
on
Church Road?
Sheriff Road.
Yeah, it
correct?
was on Sheriff Road and 61st,
Right, because
one part of,
So is that,
Yeah.
do you have like 100 block or just 61st?
61st is, the speed humps are to go throughout all of 61st. It's not
So-
just one area.
Oh,
It's
okay.
the
the
whole-
end
it's
over
the
by
whole
Edison
thing.
Road.
Oh, okay.
Yes, the
Yeah.
So
whole
on
thing.
Addison Road side, not on?
It
That
goes
side
all the
and
way,
this
it goes
side.
all the way through. Yeah, for all of the streets, it goes all the way through. So, if, just real quick, just to give citizens an idea, of the 2 vendors that responded, one vendor proposed
86,316.
One vendor proposed on 58th Avenue 4 speed humps. The other one proposed 4 speed humps. On 59th, one proposed 4, one proposed 3. 60th, one proposed 8, one proposed 6. 60th Place, one proposed 3, one proposed 2. 61st Avenue, one proposed 8, one proposed 4. I asked I asked both vendors to revisit those 2 locations, because that's too big of a disparity. J Street, one proposed 5, one proposed 4. One vendor, the total is
86,316.
the one I'm looking
Oh, I was gonna say, got it right on the paper.
Oh, thank you. What's the other one say?
126,620.
Thank you. Okay, I was looking for that paper. So can you give those amounts? One is 86,316. That's the one that has fewer speed humps. And the other one was, how much was it, Miss Stewart? I'm sorry.
126,620.
Okay, and of the 2, one vendor, it includes their amount includes the signage. The other vendor, the signage is additional. So there's some disparities in between those 2 vendors. But what will be helpful is to see what other municipalities have paid. But then also there's a 3rd vendor that has come out. They have done the work, and prayerfully they're going to send their proposal in before we make a decision. But if they don't, we have done our due diligence. We have reached out to multiple vendors to receive bids.
But everything else is fairly equal, like the material they're using, asphalt? versus-
The material they're using, how they will, yes, how they will install it. And I'm meeting with one of the vendors tomorrow to actually see 2 of their locations, to see their work that they've already done. And I did check the references. And both of them did have good references.
Oh, one more question. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
So indicative stop signs, are those the ones that just have like the red blinking lights around them? Okay,
Yes,
okay,
yes.
okay.
And we had talked about this many, many years ago. Councilmember Wood Dotson had brought to the attention of the mayor and council the need for the stop signs, and I believe at one time there was a need for, I think it said deaf child area, because there was an area where there was it wasn't a child, it was a citizen. And I also a sign that was blinking that said do not enter, because people were going down a one-way street. So this has been talked about for a while, and it's something that has come back up again. And so prayerfully we can move forward with at least getting the signs in those areas that have been identified. Okay, you're welcome.
All right, well, thank you very much, Mrs. Walker.
You're welcome.
And at this time,
Thank you, Ms. Newton, for helping me out. Appreciate it.
I'm going to move down to Mrs. Sarum. Is this, or is this a no? Did you, because it's long? Okay. All right. We have, first of all, I would like you all to please pray for Ms. Sarumi's family. She lost her mother, and so she's been out for a few days, but would you like me to do it? Yeah. Ms. Walker, that'd be fine if you want to go on and read Ms. Sarumi's report. It was done, was presented at work. You can't hear me here, can you?
No. So whoever has their laptop volume up, can you turn it down? It's kind of distracting.
Okay. All right. There you are.
Okay. So Office of the Town Manager, Town of Fairmount Heights, Maryland. Memorandum, September 13, 2022, from Doris Sarumi, Town Manager. Subject, Town Manager's Report from August 13, 2022 to September 13, 2022. Below, please find my report for the above reference period. Administration, reminder notice. Request to renew franchise agreement with Verizon. The franchise agreement between the town and Verizon expires on November 21st, 2022. The cable franchise must be renewed 30 to 36 months prior to the franchise expiration date. Updating Verizon Channel 11. To place information on the channel, please send a Word document or please send as Word documents or as JPEG. State, federal, and external information to be placed on the channel can be sent to Mr. Gray. The regular town meeting is broadcast live on Channel 11 and is now downloaded on the website. Update information for the website. Councilmember Brianna White was added to the website as a back-end user. She now has access to update the website. Job announcements. No new job announcements at this time. Police Department. The interview panel completed its work and made its recommendations to the mayor and council. The mayor will be making the official offer to our selected chief hopefully on tomorrow, September 14th, 2022. Public Works. The Public Works staff is continuing with grass cutting and cleaning up alleys, removing much of the undergrowth and trash. The staff and I are working with Councilmember Gilmore in rebuilding and restructuring the department. During this period, the department ordered small equipment that included a vacuum cleaner, leaf blowers, and weed whackers. During the fall, the staff will start painting curb cuts and the yellow no parking areas. The Pepco charging station. Please be aware that the Pepco charging station is available 24 hours per day in accordance with the Pepco agreement. Pepco provides a monthly energy utilization report. If there is an event in the building, the parking and spaces designated for the charging station must not be used for parking. Pepco Sustainable Maryland Grant. Pepco is awarding up to $10,000 for environmental stewardship. The town will submit a grant application. The name of the project, the K Street Market Circle Alley Enhancement Project. The alley is located between Addison Road and Market Circle. The alley is approximately 186 feet long. See maps attached. It is owned by the town. The alley is unpaved and has become the dumping site for tires, old mattresses, cans, and bottles. The pathway is overgrown with invasive trees and weeds. It encourages illicit activities. Description of the K Street Market Circle Alley Enhancement Project. Remove all debris and trash. Remove all invasive and overgrown plant life. Install new path with pervious surface. Design and create landscape plan to connect K Street to Market Circle and to the Fairmount Heights Community Pocket Park. Plant trees and herbaceous plants in accordance with the landscape plan. Install art details and other small placards identifying the names of the trees and the history of the alleyway. Project partners, the Anacostia Watershed. Anacostia Watershed worked with the town in the past and more recently cleaned up the 4.4-acre site. Anacostia Watershed will design and create the landscape plan. The Fairmount Heights Community Development Corporation will assist the town with the many aspects of citizen engagement and planting. Matching funds. The highway user funds will be used as matching funds. For more information, see Mrs. Walker. Update Net Zero Housing, Housing Initiative Partnership. HIP, which is the Housing Initiative Partnership, is offering special services, funding, and counseling to town residents in need of home repair. This is part of $650,000 funding through the Maryland Department of Housing. All citizens are encouraged to apply. Each homeowner can apply for grants up to $60,000. Construction of the 7 new housing should start during the month of November. Update and reminder Veteran Memorial World War II African American Heritage Preservation Grant. Update including the Treasurer's Report. Upcoming grants. The U.S. Department of Agriculture announced the availability of the USDA People's Garden Initiative. The simple act of planting a garden can have big impacts, from building a more diversified and resilient local food system to empowering communities to come together. The Economic and Development Committee. Sustainable Communities Program Application for Designation Renewal. The Sustainable Communities Act of 2012 established a framework for reinvestment and revitalization of Maryland existing communities, creating single, locally designated focus areas. Sustainable Maryland is partnering with PEPCO in issuing the $10,000 Environmental Stewardship Grant. The Sustainable Communities Program must be renewed every 5 years. The Economic and Community Development Committee meets the 3rd Thursday each month. Recommendations from the committee to the mayor and council were as follows. The items below require the action of the mayor and council. 1, that the mayor and council establish a historic preservation review board. The purpose of the board is to review the designs and plans for all renovation projects and new construction. The committee should be made up of at least 3 members and no more than 5. 2, that the mayor and council contract the services of a consultant to prepare the request for proposal for the development of the property known as the 4.4 acres. Note number 1, the PG Department of Planning funded the updating and printing of the Fairmount Heights pattern book to be used to guide the construction and renovation of housing within the historic district. Please have on hand copies of the pattern book for the council. And then included in her report are pictures for the proposed alley, 60th Avenue Circle property, as well as a streetscape.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ms. Walker, for reading that into the record. Please continue to pray for Ms. Sarumi. I think that her mother's funeral will probably be one day next week. So as soon as we get the information, we're going to post it out front. So if anyone is interested in going, I think it's going to be down in the part of Maryland. I think they're in Southern Maryland. So we'll post it out front so everyone can see it. Before we continue down the agenda, I wanted to say thank you to our delegate-elect, Tiffany Austin, for joining us here this evening. Tiffany, it's not that we have forgotten about you. We had a lot of things going on, but it's all good. Happy to see you. And she has something that's going to be given to each council member, so make sure you get these before you leave. I'll make sure I hand them. I didn't want to do it during the time that we're handling up the business.
I'm gonna get some more for the town members too. I'll get some more.
Oh, okay. All right, so did you have something you want to say just a moment, Tiffany?
Now, my ADD was kicking in, but he got it.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
It wasn't me.
Okay. And, yes, and before we move along also, thank you, Tiffany, I wanted to mention that something it's very serious for us in our community, and it hadn't been mentioned. I meant to do it when we did the moment of silence for former council member, senator, mayor, CEO of the Chamber of Commerce of Prince George's County, David Harrington, passed away yesterday. And it's been such, it's such that whole sympathetic feeling for him because of the fact that he was such a man of honor. And one thing about him, he would always come here to Fairmount Heights to try to give advice, because this is not like we're just starting to have these kind of things going on. Fairmount Heights somebody was always trying to come in and say, can you all do this? I can help you do that. And he would come in even when we had retreats. He would come in often for work session. All you had to do was call him. And people like that, they're never to be forgotten. So I wanted to let everyone know and express sympathy. I've already done it to the family, but we'll make sure that we send something from the town. He was a great man, great man. All right, Mr. Pinckney, I'm going to move on down to your report, if you would please. Thank you very much.
Good evening to the mayor, the council members, and the citizens of the town of Fairmount Heights. This is a revised report from the work session. For this period, there were 26 civil citations issued totaling $14,250. The District Court of Maryland for Prince George's County awarded the town of Fairmount Heights $5,995 judgments on the affidavit. 2 of our town residents paid their citation totaling $750. Pending payments are awaiting further action, i.e. court dates or payments. We didn't issue any business license during this period. We issued 1 building permit totaling $208.17 to 807 59th Avenue for solar panels. We issued 6 rental licenses totaling $800 plus $300 late fees. Notice of corrective actions needed notices. For this period, we've issued 25 corrective action notices for various locations. 18 of these violations have been corrected. We have placed 1 stop work order at 708 59th Place, building permit required. Miscellaneous. On September the 9th, 2022, our office sent the owner of 5907 K Street, the Hargrove House, a letter letting them know that they owed the town of Fairmount Heights $800 for vacant building registration fee, since they have discontinued the rehabilitation work at the property, and if they fail to comply, a tax lien will be placed against the property in the amount of $1,000. It has come to our attention that Mrs. Wong, since her eviction from 62nd Avenue, have started placing trash and debris at 715 61st Avenue, the old Charity Hall. Our office has received complaints concerning the property located at 704 59th Avenue about equipment being placed in the alley. I have spoken with the owner, and they stated that these items will be in the alley temporarily until they finish the yard work. Once the yard work is completed, they will remove the items from the alleys. And I have pictures before, I have during, and I have after photos. Y'all would like to see those.
Thank you.
I have spoken with the owners at 5511 K Street concerning the unregistered or abandoned vehicles in the common area in the front of their property. The vehicles were removed on Saturday, September the 17th, per the owner and Mayor Martin. The vehicle in the common area was removed on September the 17th. The owner called on September the 19th to let us know that she would have the title for the vehicle parked in the driveway on September the 22nd, 2022, and would be removed once she has the title. And the last thing I'd just like to mention, and I'm still in need of a vehicle. If the council could help with our vehicle for code enforcement with some signage. And that's basically my report. And yes, ma'am.
The vehicle that's, the last part that you read, the vehicle in the common area, I saw that it was removed.
Mm-hmm.
But she's saying when she gets the title, she's
She
going to
said
remove
the title should be there tomorrow, and she's going to remove the vehicle. She can't sell the vehicle or get rid of it. The tow company won't take the vehicle unless she has a title. So she says the title is supposed to be there tomorrow, the 22nd.
Because this is the same individual that told us, I think a month ago, that they would be gone.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a bleeding heart, but she said her husband died, and she couldn't find the title. So, you know.
All right, and you said this was the revised copy. I see you have it in bold here, that all the stuff was removed from the alleyway.
Right. That's why I sent you the photo so you can see it.
Okay.
So you can see the before picture and the after and during.
Okay, so, I'm sorry.
They're coming, I have them in my hand. Pictures?
I don't have pictures.
No, I didn't print out all the pictures because it's in color and I use up too much
I
ink.
got you, I understand.
So I just
I
made
have a
one
question,
copy.
that's why I haven't passed them on yet.
So wait a minute, I'm not,
Go ahead.
so the Miss Wong thing,
Mm-hmm.
the Miss Wong thing,
Yes.
I understand she's also on Mr. Sprague's property.
She
Is
was
that
at
Charity
the-
Hall the same?
No, it's two different areas.
Okay.
Mr. Spriggs is 725. She's moved up to 715. The resident next door called to complain that she was putting stuff behind the wall and you have some hedges. She had, and I went up and took pictures. I can show them to you. She went up to start putting bags and stuff like that behind that.
I think it's 4 houses up from the old, from my heights.
Okay.
That's Mr. Spriggs.
Yeah.
It's like it's 725.
Okay.
But he came, I think, one of our residents cleaned up their property, bagged it up, and it looks great. So then she moved up the street to 715 because she knew Charity Hall had been torn down and that lot was vacant. She can't come in from the back because that's an alley, so she comes up through those steps.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so as soon as the chief reports to duty, that will be, I guess, on the priority list to try to deal with Ms. Wong?
I'm seriously, since they evicted her on that Saturday, I haven't seen her.
Okay.
No, she's in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I haven't seen her.
Yeah.
She's in and out.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay.
The question I'm asking is across from the house that is on 58, where the big sign is now. It was next to Kirsten's house, 3 doors from the Shelton.
58th.
59th Place, I'm sorry. At the top where the lady have the daycare.
Yeah,
Across from her, she wants to know how long and how tall with that debris on the fence. It's frightening.
What you talking about, the house that I mentioned in my report, 708 59th Place?
No, this is the back fence across from the house where the daycare is. The fence would be.
I know you're talking about that vacant lot to go down to the drop right there, to go down to 59th Avenue.
Right.
I'm not asking Public Works to get on it tomorrow.
Oh, okay, because she said it's at the point they're afraid. We have a lot of dog walkers on outside at night.
Okay.
And it's pitch black there. I mean, you can't see anything, and the debris have grown over at least 8 to 9 feet tall.
Okay.
That's hanging back, it's now getting ready.
Over onto the sidewalk?
Oh, it's both ways.
Okay.
You can't see through it at all.
Okay. And another thing I'd like to mention, in case some of the residents see some loose pit bulls, we've had one of our residents come up off of K Street complaining that they came into his yard and he said he took out his pistol, but his pistol didn't go off. We can't do anything with dogs. You have to call animal control. or he would report it to PG County Police Department.
Did they find, whose dogs are they?
Pardon?
They don't, do we know whose dogs they are?
I think it's one of the residents at 6101, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Is there any way we can just go and knock on the door to let him know his dogs are getting out? Because it's school's
Well,
back
see,
in.
when the police chief comes on, he can do that.
We can't knock on and say, make sure your dogs are secure. We can't do that? Give me the address. I'll stop past his house. What is it again?
It's better if you send something, Councilmember, to let us know.
Okay, it's best to send,
Just to knock on the door and say your dog's getting loose?
Okay. Yeah, just call animal control. That's in their purpose, because if you go there, if the dog's out, what you gonna do?
that's true.
Oh, I'm prepared.
Jump out
She
on you.
can't do that.
What was the address again?
6101K.
6101.
Yes,
So what
ma'am.
kind of dog, is the dog loose?
It's on this side, it's not on your side.
Oh, okay.
It's right down by the circle.
Because you know I got my little dog. I
Yes,
want
ma'am.
to make sure.
Yes, ma'am.
So in reference to Ms. Wong, several months ago, I can't remember what month it was, but prior to us losing Chief Ivy, he had mentioned in one of his reports that the county or the courts or mental health or someone was getting involved, like with the intervention or something, because.
We had a meeting, all
I
that,
mean,
that's all that's
honestly,
held.
this is beyond, I mean, I'm not trying to diagnose or anything, but obviously this is beyond,
Yeah.
police department. You
No,
know
because
what I
the day, that Saturday, the day he evicted Ms. Wong, you had PG County police officers, they came twice.
Yeah.
Because Captain Tyson from the PG County police officer gave us his number just to call in case something happened. She came twice. When they was loading up the dumpsters, I got pictures, she climbed up on a ladder and went into the dumpsters and was taking stuff out. PG County came and she fainted on the sidewalk, then they called the fire department. They came and took her blood pressure and all that. They walked her down to the corner, and then she disappeared. But they said unless she admits herself, there's nothing that we
Well,
can't
we
admit.
tried, we tried,
Because
yeah.
this mentioned at over to, just a suggestion, similar to Vincent, and the reason I ask is because down by where the old Kenny shoe store used to be, and that guy down there that used to have all of his belongings and bags and stuff, Senator Vincent mentioned she was able to reach out to the county executive, and they were able to intervene, in that case. So I know Senator Vincent has been in this town, she's always telling us if we need help with anything. So has this been mentioned to her at all? Maybe she can get.
When we had the meeting, we had a representative from the state's attorney's office, the county exec office. All these people came to this meeting, and nothing really happened.
And that's true, but then we did actually, I had a meeting even after all of us got together with crisis intervention, because I called them back because I knew it was time for that day to arrive when she was going to be actually evicted. So they went and interviewed her. You have to go through a process, because what they do, if they sit down with you and they don't feel like you're in the condition that you have to go with them, they leave you. It was 3 of them that came and went and sat with her. They said she made them a little spot, made them comfortable. She talked to them just like normal people. And then after that, so he came back and told me, he said, there's nothing we can really do unless she wants to voluntarily go for treatment. So they got out. They didn't, and we have not been able to contact them because of the fact that the county has a different contractor now that's working from that perspective. So it's not a good situation. They don't take people. And he said, well, I can't even take her to the hospital, because unless she hurts someone or she's hurting herself, they're not going to accept her at the hospital. So that became a really big issue. Like I said, when they came back out here, it's nobody we can really turn to. I mean, I don't mind mentioning it to Senator Benson, see if there's anything she can do. But I know that's a major problem when you have people in the condition like she is.
And one more thing. In my last report, I mentioned that one of the neighbors at 727, she had a confrontation with her. And she said Ms. Wong kicked her and she pushed her. So I told her at that time you should have called PG County Police, then they could have arrested her. But she didn't do that. She just called up here and complained, but it wasn't anything we could do.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did you get my email?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you're gonna contact me about the, documentation that I asked for. I asked to see the documentation for the allegations that were made against me.
Yes, ma'am. I'll get it to you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So about Ms. Wong, she's trespassing.
Right.
And not only she's trespassing, she is considering how she's going about putting this dumping, that's dumping
Right,
on
legal
people's
dumping.
lot. Prince George's County, they have dumping violations over $1,000, and you could be put in jail for dumping. Why don't we just go that angle then?
That's why when the new chief come on, we can do that.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? Yes, sir.
A quick question. With regards to illegal dumping in the alleyways, if you know of the individual, what can be done about that?
Illegal dumping, unless we can get a piece of, like a letter. Okay, I give you an example. At 7,
What was the question again? I'm
he
sorry.
wanted to know, what could you do someone illegal dumping?
Okay.
Okay, at one address, a guy was dumping on the, where we're gonna put the 6 net zero houses, right? But when they dumped, they had his address. So I was able, he had a piece of mail in the pile, so I was able to get the letter and then go and show him that it was your mail, so he corrected that, he paid the fine.
Okay.
But if you can't see somebody dumping, you can't, because then, you know, who could you charge? You know, unless you have a camera or something like that, and you can get a clear tag number or something like that. But most cameras, when they take a photo, it's blurry, and you can't go tag. A lot of times in these trucks that are dumping, the tags are always bent up, and you can't get a good picture of the tags. Yes, ma'am.
I need to pass the pictures, but something caught my eye. So this, I wanted to ask about the pictures of the alley and before and after. Before, no wait. Before the alley's clean. see the order people come.
Before is when we were looking to have the alleys clean, and I took those photos. This is how the alleys look prior to the resident putting his stuff out there.
Is this not dumping? Is this not dumping?
No, that's
Prior
that's
to, but this is temporary storage?
That's the temporary storage until what he did, he redid his whole driveway and planted new grass. So he wanted to put the stuff in the alley. Because what he did, he had paid $3,000 to clean the alley himself. Since the town didn't do it, he paid $3,000 to clean the alley. Those are the after pictures. You can see where he had paid to clean the alley. And he set those things out there temporarily. Now they're gone. As of yesterday, I went and took pictures, just to make sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I see the debris here.
Yeah.
This is, whose is this? That's fence?
Yes.
Or something proper, was that moved?
Yeah, everything is gone. Anything else? Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I have a concern that probably is off the wall, but in and around Fairmount Heights, I've noticed that we have, I think, when you look at the locations I'm thinking of, about 7 places where we have dump. They call them junkyard.
Okay.
Junkyard.
Okay.
At least 7 we have around Fairmount Heights itself. I don't think there's any other place in Prince George's County that has that many junkyards. But the point is, it's like people just keep making them, and we don't have any rules in place to stop them. And here's my concern. We don't think about the fact that, I think there's a law that we have on our books that whenever you have a parked car over 72 hours, it must be on pavement, not on soil. Because the stuff that comes out of a car, of course.
Unpaid
is meant to
services.
go. And you know what? I'm just saying, for years, we had one that's on, what's that, at Eastern Avenue. Now we got one on Sheriff Road, we got one on Sheriff Road, we got one on Balsam Tree, we got one on Josh Street.
Well,
And
the one on
what I'm
Boston.
trying to say is,
I know what you're saying.
this is too small an area for that many.
Right.
I'm really concerned about that.
And my answer is to that is like the one at Tremendo's. In my last report, I mentioned that we contacted the EPA. They haven't gotten back with me.
Okay.
Right, about the oil and the antifreeze going into the groundwater all the way down to Cove Street. Yeah, well, you can see the oil sediments on top of the sidewalk in that playground. And as far as the one on in my report, the one on Sheriff Road that was owned by Mr. Solomon, we issued him two $1,000 citations, and we got that judgment on the 7th of September. Yes, ma'am.
So has anything been done at 708 yet in regard to the car in the Skinner's yard that's on the grass that's been there for?
I gave them the time.
Have they been cited or anything?
Yeah,
They're not on your list.
No, I put him on my list, but I will look into that tomorrow because I don't know whether he's responded.
Yeah.
I told him that if he didn't respond, he would give. In my report, it was $1,000 citation.
That's for the stop work.
Right.
I'm talking about.
No, that's not work. That's for to remove the vehicle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because this been there for, I know, 13 to 14 years.
But see, when I talked to Dr. Skinner, what he was saying, he was trying to be a little argumentative. He said, "Well, I'm gonna tow it up to the front and put it on the concrete. Then you don't have nothing to say." But I told him, according to the ordinance, you can't store a vehicle, an inoperable, unregistered, or an abandoned vehicle. You can't have them on your property. I don't care whether it's on concrete or on soil.
Well, I know way back we were told one could be in the yard with a cover over. But you're dragging his car from the street through the grass all the way in the back. It's been sitting on the back, and if anybody even went to move it tomorrow, I'm sure it's no dirt. The chassis of the car is on the ground.
That's what I told him.
And it's groundhogs big as you and I that are everywhere, from one yard digging in it, the other yard with the things rooting in it, and my shed, I had to put a piece of wood this high. I'll bring you the pictures where the groundhogs tore straight through. Never in all the years of being there have it ever happened.
You think that's coming just from the car?
No, it came from the groundhogs. The holes are all along the fence. I'll bring you a picture.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Capers, just to follow up with you about the junkyards, I did send an email to our town attorney today about that, and I'm hoping he can give me some insight on how we tackle that problem.
Right.
And hopefully by next month, I'll have a report for it. All right.
I just have one question for you.
Yes.
Did you get a notice from somebody, because I reported it to the state?
About what?
That many junkyards in there. I thought it was like a health hazard to all of us. And so I reported it to the state and asked them if there was something. Did they say something to you? Is that how you?
Not that I'm aware. I didn't get anything personally, no. I ride around the community almost every day, and one thing I'm observing is them junkyards. And I sent an email about that today to our attorney.
Can I add something to that as well? I'm sorry. Also, as Mr. Pinkney said, he did send it to the EPA. So this is getting sent to a bunch of organizations so we can get this tackled. So across the board, the state, the EPA, which is federal level. So it's truly being, sent everywhere. We all live in the town. No one wants to have to deal with that stuff in our drinking water. So, once again, thank you for being so concerned, and we are, working on it. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So one more question. So are these considered businesses, or are they people just create
No,
a junkyard in their yard?
You have one of our neighbors. He bought the property on the corner of Balsam Tree and Joss. Well, we tried to get the town to buy it, but the town didn't buy it, so he purchased that lot. Now he's putting his cars and different things over there. Tremendos, you have Tremendos on Hunt Place. And then you have Mr. Solomon at 533 Sheriff Road. He changed from a Bell's bondsman to a junkyard. And this is
Cove Street.
I've charged them $4,000.
Yeah.
Is there any way we can start towing vehicles?
But see, this is what Lieutenant Ivy, he was gonna get a task force because he has like 3 Rottweilers in the lot. So I picture where I went on Cove Street and got up there taking pictures and they ran to the gate. So Lieutenant Ivy, what he was gonna do was get a task force with the animal control, the sheriff's department, and then he was gonna do a sting along with a towing company. They could tow everything out. But since he passed, you know, that's what I'm glad for us to have him do.
Which property was he gonna do this for?
This is 533, the one I gave you today,
Okay.
533 Sheriff Road, Hamilton's. He should be only doing bonding services.
Yeah.
But now he's turned over.
But he's turned
everything over to.
So is he licensed?
It's
What is
just
his
a mess.
business license?
He doesn't have, he hasn't renewed his business license. That's what me and Ms. Walker was talking about. He hasn't renewed his business license, I think, since last year.
So he shouldn't be on no type of operation in town.
He shouldn't be operating.
So we can't shut him down?
That's true.
We can't send a letter to shut it down?
You still have to.
Yeah.
The letters that I sent him to go to court, he doesn't show up in court.
Okay.
Because I don't know if he's been a bail bondsman. Because when I took him to court, the first thing the state's attorney said, "Oh, you got Mr. Hamilton." It's like she knows him.
Yeah.
So whoever, I don't know.
Just put a lien on it.
So no, ain't no grandfather.
I put a lien on it. Every time I go to court and the court rule in our favor, they have to send me the affidavit awarding us the $1,000 plus $5 court costs. Once I get and on the affidavit it says you can proceed with a lien. That's when I send a lien to the tax and assessment office at Wayne County Administration.
Put a lien on it.
Can the dollar amount be increased?
No.
No, according to
It's
the
only
ordinance, it's on.
Is it our ordinance?
That's the county.
Oh, so we can
that's
modify
infraction.
is it the county's ordinance or the town of
Municipal
Fairmount?
infractions throughout the county.
But I don't think,
$1,000.
right, I don't
As
think
you
we can
go.
supersede the 1,000. Now, unless, you know, something new that I don't know about.
Oh, I thought we was incorporating, we did our own
We
thing.
do, but I don't think we can go beyond that.
When was the lien put in place for that property?
The lien, the date, I don't know, I have it back here because I have a copy of all the ones that requested liens. I can get you a copy of it.
Okay, can we follow up on it?
Well, I don't know what they might have, the liens you talked about the night you got from the county? Those, oh, okay, those maybe. But see, when I request a lien from the tax and assessment office, they don't send me anything. They just send, when they decide and they put the lien on it, if they come and pay their taxes, then they send it to the treasurer and she has the number, you know, those figures. I never see when they paid or how much they paid.
Okay, yeah, I think you might want to do another one.
I just did one on the 7th. I can't do one every month.
Okay. No, because I just asked you when it was done, she said it was a long time ago.
No, I said, no, I just did this on the 7th, on the thing. It's like the third one down when you see 533 Sheriff Road. You got 2 there for $1,000. One for not having a permit for the temporary fence, and the other one is for having a junkyard.
Okay. Okay. And another thing that we have to remember too is that on Balsam Tree, with, I forget Mr. Neil Lee's, the name of his business, but that is not considered on the Fairmount Heights. It's Balsam Tree, it's separate, so that's under county jurisdiction.
You're talking about, no, I was talking about the lot right here.
Yeah, but I was just letting everybody know because.
Neil Towing?
Yeah. Yeah, that's Balsam Tree. It's under county jurisdiction, huh? The opposite side, the side to the right is county, unincorporated. Yeah. So, okay. Okay, all right, okay, Mr. Pinckney,
You can go ahead and sit down, you don't have to stay.
Okay.
Mr. Pinckney, my questions are in reference to a business changing from its initial, I guess, format or was supposed to be a bond place, and now it's a
junkyard.
So the actual business license is not. Therefore, the business for me is closed. We don't have an operational business license for the new, whatever it is.
Right.
So I don't know whether this is legally or not, but it would seem that, and I know you said that there was going to be a process. Why wouldn't we just lock the gate? I mean, we're trying to find somebody for something that we know is in violation. That's in addition to. It's not a functional business. It's not an operating business in the town. It's not a registered business in the town. So
The
how?
only thing we can do is put a cease and desist order.
And follow
As
up
far as locking, we can't do that. Unless the police chief, when he comes, that's what I'm saying, we've been in such a need of a police chief. Because he can do that. I have no pistol or nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going out there and
I get it.
I
I understand, and I'm not saying to do so, but the cease and desist is like a lot for me. I just want to know, because we're saying it's supposed to be this, and it's not. And we're saying we're going to fine them because of what they're doing, but we're still not touching the fact that it is not supposed to be a business anyway.
Right.
So the cease and desist letter, did we send that?
It's like a stop work order. It's a cease and desist plaque. You just put it on the property. Most of the time you put it on the window, but they got that top going around it, so you can't put it on the top. But I'll work on that soon. I work on that
safely.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's two different things, right? Because the business license is expired, so they can't legally operate a business without a license. And then separately to stop work, right? Is it two different things?
No, it's not a stop work. It's not a stop work. It's cease and desist the illegal business.
Operate the business.
Right.
Okay, gotcha, okay.
Okay. All right, well, thank you so much, Mr. Pinckney. Thank you. Yes. We appreciate you, Mr. Pinckney. We appreciate you. Yeah. I'm gonna, oh my. Yeah. All right, we're going to continue on down to our old business, and the first item that we have is the HIP funding for community members. This was placed on the agenda. It was mentioned in Mr. Rumi's report. That particular funding was the one that talked about community members can get up to $60,000, and this is a HIP program that's offering special services. So this is for residents in need of home repairs. So there is $650,000 that's been funded, and they are encouraging people to please apply and try to receive some of this funding, because it can be real beneficial. I mean, you know, you might need your steps repaired, you might need whatever kind of work you might need. Please apply. The number for the HIP office is here in the building, but if you have an interest in it, please apply so that, you know, we can take, I don't have the qualifications on me, but they'll tell you what the qualifications are. Yeah, they'll tell you exactly what they are. Okay. All right, I just wanted to add that, and I'm going to continue on down, and the next one is the status of the town speed humps. Mrs. Walker has covered that in her report, so thank you so much for that, Mrs. Walker. The next item is the status of UCAP. In our last meeting, because we've had several meetings, but I think it was mentioned in our either work session or one of our special meetings, the situation with UCAP, you know, they purchased 2 parcels of land in the town. One is the old Fairmount Heights Elementary School. The other one is the site of old Melvin's Crab House. And there's concern within the community about what they're going to use the land, what they're going to use that space for. So I had promised I was going to reach out to UCAP. I did that the following day. They answered back right away saying that they are more than happy to schedule a meeting. And they said, whatever day is good, just send me a couple of dates. Now, I answered that email back also, and I offered the date of October 11th. Now, it has not been received yet, but I know that I had seen the information saying they were having a big event, so I guess they were working on that. So soon, the federal holiday is the 10th. So the 11th. So that was the date that's been put out there. As soon as I get the response, I'll let everyone know and we can move forward, because we want this to be a community time when people can come in and talk about the pros and cons and get an update on what's happening. But I'm happy to say that they did respond. Okay? So, yes, ma'am.
When did UCAP purchase these properties, the old school and the Melvin's Crab House?
You know, I don't know actually when they purchased it, but I think it's been more than a year. It's been a good while. Yeah.
What happened?
See, that's what they're trying to do. I don't. When they schedule a meeting, look out for the information. Please come up here and ask them those kind of questions, because I don't even know what their plans are as far as proposals for those 2 locations. But all I know is that they have purchased them.
It hasn't been over, Councilman White was asking me,
Yes. How long has it been?
it's been no more than a little over a year, maybe 2 for the first property purchased, Millen Scrap House, 711 Eastern Avenue, and then the other one, I think maybe a year later. That's not an exact time, it's approximation. But I'm kind of sort of gauging it in some of the meetings or some of the time frame. I know I've been back since 19, and it's been within that, from now until, what's that called?
I'm not sure.
Between that time, 2020, during the pandemic, if you want to gauge it.
Okay. All right, so that's where we are with that. As soon as the information comes, as far as that date is verified through their office, then we'll schedule, the meeting will be here. Okay?
Before we sit down, can I ask a question about about the properties? Did Fairmount Heights ever attempt to purchase those properties? I mean, because they have been vacant for
A very long time, well, you know, Melvin's is completely torn down now, but the school, at one time, it was offered to us for $250,000. Well, at that time, we were in no position to buy anything, so we couldn't even consider buying it. So it's just been sitting and sitting, and you know it's been deteriorating, because actually when Reverend Cage purchased it, and I forget how many years ago that was, he gutted it. That's how a lot of those historic items that were in that building, they weren't preserved. So I think they sent them to, hopefully, the historic designation committee has captured part of it, I'm not sure. But since he came in and he was the owner, they just gutted it out and they left the facade of the way it is now. So that's why you see it looking the way it is, but that's been a long time since that was done. So yeah, we weren't in a position, because they were offering, I mean, they were charging entirely $250,000. We couldn't do anything with that. We couldn't hardly even pay our bills at that time, believe me. That's right, that's what kind of condition we were in. Yes, ma'am, Ms. White.
Do you think UCAP will go forward with this meeting? Because remember before, we made about 5 appointments with them to have a meeting, and they finally told us they would have a meeting at the women's shelter. A lot of people in the town went to the women's shelter. So are they going to really get back with us this time?
Well,
so they can come to the town and have a meeting?
You know, all I can say is that that's their word. Your word is your bond.
That's true.
So, I mean, if they do or if they don't, their word is their bond. Yeah.
Can I make a correction for in terms of UCAP? Shepherd's Cove is the shelter. The backside. Shepherd's Cove is the shelter. UCAP is the front side. So it's a business. The shelter, we keep referring to as the shelter, but as a whole, it's United Communities Against Poverty, not just a shelter. One correction.
Okay. All right, so that's fine.
I'm just saying.
I mean, you know, I don't.
It was held in the front part of the building, the business, you know, the front part. And the reason why I make that distinction is because we're not even allowed to go back in the shelter.
Oh, okay, okay. But I don't, like I said, I didn't make it to that, so I'm not really up on what was happening. I'm just reporting the information as it was referred to me through the email. That's all. Okay, I'm gonna move on down. Yes.
We just asked that if the time that they give was ample enough time, so we could put it out in the community, circulate, so we can make sure that everybody's aware of the meet so they can be in attendance.
Yeah.
We don't want to have something scheduled for, 2 days and 3 days and, try to hurry up and get people in. We need to get something ample enough time. So I'm just saying this to say that maybe for October's, work session or either October's town meeting, so people have enough time. You got to make their mind up what they want to do, so we can make sure we get the whole community in.
Yeah, and you're right, because that was the reason why I bumped it on up to the 11th. Now, that email went out a few days ago. Okay, I did it for the 11th because I said at least we'll have 12 to 15 days or a little bit more. And we could put the information out and all. I think that was what I was trying to do, is put those extra days and pad it like that.
Okay.
So hopefully, like I said, we don't have that written in stone yet. As soon as it is written, I'll let everybody know we can go forward with that.
So last thing, so for the mayor and council, and so we won't have this problem going forward. we're asking that something goes in place, some ordinance, some kind of legislation, so when we have this kind of issue right here, we don't have to be at anyone's mercy about what's gonna be done in our town. Something has to be put in place so it can be an understanding that they have to come to the table, to the mayor and council and the people of Fairmount Heights, legally, by ordinance or by a law that's put in place, so we want to deal with this moving forward. I'm asking y'all to do this as soon as possible.
Okay, I have that as a side. Councilmember Waiters.
A part of, Mr., I would just like to say, Mr. Barnhart, and per the concerns, I do have, something written in my report. When it comes forth, I will bring that back, for discussion.
Okay. All right, was there anyone else? I guess there was nobody else's hands. We can move on. I'm gonna move on down to new business. And under new business, our first item was the need to approve $2,000 to purchase immediate items / equipment for the new chief. And we approved that in work session, but I brought it to the town meeting to make sure, just in case we needed to have an official vote on it, we could do that now. So at this time, I will accept a motion to approve $2,000 to purchase immediate items / equipment for our new police chief.
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Who's second? I'm sorry. Thank you.
Can I ask a question? I'm sorry, how does this work?
We have a motion on the floor.
Yeah, okay, I got a second. I got a motion, got a second.
Okay.
All right, wait a minute, hold on for one moment. All right, any questions on the motion?
No.
Okay, it's been probably moved and seconded, excuse me. Probably moved and seconded that we approve the $2,000 to purchase immediate / items / equipment for the new police chief. And, all right, were there questions on the motion? First of all, let me get the council and then I can ask you, are there any questions on this motion?
No, ma'am. Not for me.
No questions. Did you want to make a comment?
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, Councilmember Stewart.
Yes.
Last time you mentioned up to $2,000.
Up to
You mentioned
$2,000.
you were hoping that the town didn't have to spend $2,000, but is it for $2,000 flat or is it up to?
Up to.
Well, yeah, in here, it was just, I'm reading according to the agenda, so I don't know the exact verbiage that was there, but so we can easily insert up to 2,000.
Okay, because, if he only needs 1,200, then.
Then he won't spend the entire.
Okay, I didn't know if that had to be specifically in there.
Okay, yeah, I'm reading from this from the paper.
But one of the things he purchased, if you noticed today, if you were here for his swearing in, he actually had his dress blues on with the Fairmount Heights patch.
No.
So he had to go out. He did have it.
Okay, that's all right. But we'll move on. There are some other things probably.
No, he did.
Okay,
Yeah, he had to purchase that.
all
He had to
right.
get the patch on it.
So, yeah,
So it's a reimbursable process?
Yes.
Okay, I got you. Okay, thank you.
okay.
And he
All
will
right.
need uniforms too.
So, all right, if there are no questions on the motion, clerk to the council, will you please call the roll?
Mayor Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Waiters,
Yes.
Councilmember Stewart,
Yes.
Councilmember White,
Yes.
Councilmember Wood Dodson,
Didn't hear you.
I said aye.
Oh, okay.
Here, present.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Councilmember Barnhart,
Yes.
Councilmember Oscar.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. The ayes have it. Any nays? No abstentions. Thank you very much. That up to $2,000 has been approved for his usage. Okay, our second item is the purchase of a laptop for our clerk to the council. Now that we have our clerk to the council back, we have one laptop here, but this is normally the laptop that's used by the town clerk for various other business within the organization. So what we figured it would be a good idea to have the clerk to the council have a laptop so that in case of, say, weather conditions and some of the other things that may happen, we would have that accessibility So it went to the work session and it was approved there. But I wanted to bring it out to the floor tonight so that everyone would have the opportunity and we could do the voice vote on that. And that would be a purchase of the laptop for usage of the clerk to the council. At this time, I will accept a motion on approval.
Patricia Waiter, so moved.
Can I get a second?
I second Brianna White.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the purchase of a laptop for usage of the clerk to the council. Are there any questions on the motion? If there are no questions,
I'm sorry,
Madam
there was one
Secretary?
question, Mayor.
Madam Clerk?
Are we going, is my mic on? Are we going to get the software as well, or just the laptop?
Well, we just mentioned the laptop. I don't know. I guess in order to make it whatever is workable for it, we're gonna need whatever's gonna make it workable.
It should come standard, but then at the same time, we have to check with our tech to see what software is required of her.
What licenses we already have?
Yes,
Okay.
And maybe an add-on.
Okay,
May
just
not be.
Just
It
curious.
should come with a standard install though.
All right, thank you.
And then I think per the same question, Ms. Stan, Dr. Stan, I'm sorry. If you need anything specific that you just heard, is what Councilmember Stewart is asking, you need to let us know. Right?
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, if there are no other questions, Madam Secretary to the council, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Mayor Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Waiters,
Yes.
Councilmember Stewart. Aye. Councilmember White,
Yes.
Councilmember McDodson,
Yes.
Councilmember Barnhart,
Yes.
Councilmember Oscar.
Yes.
Thank you very much. The ayes have it. There are no nays and no abstentions. So those two items that we just had the motions for are approved. And thank you all very much. We're going to continue to move down the agenda. The next item is the mayor's report. I have several items that I want to mention. One of the first items is the one for the fish fry for Delegate-elect Tiffany Austin. You all have tickets here. Her fish fry will be September 24th, and it has the location. It's on Golf Course Drive in Mitchellville, and it's from 3 to 7 p.m. So I have you all's tickets here. And then we have some tickets that can be used for the community. If you come up to my desk after the meeting is over, if I have enough, I'll just give you a ticket if you would like to attend.
It's free?
No, I just like y'all live.
Okay, all right. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tiffany. All right. The next item I wanted to talk about was the closing of Fairmount Heights Library. As you all have probably heard, the library closed on the 19th, which was last Saturday. They're closed for renovations because they say they need a new roof, they need new shelving. They're expanding the Dream Lab. They're putting new shelves in, so it's going to be quite extensive work. They didn't give any time as to when they will reopen, but you know that's on the library's time schedule, so watch out for the news on that. I want to just let everyone know that they were closing. Okay. Last week, I received the email from the county executive's office. She wants to attend one of our meetings, and we've been through a lot of times we tried to schedule a meeting. It can be sort of hard, but this time she said her office says they want to come out. So I want to schedule her for the town meeting for October. And the reason why I want to do that, because I want to have her here. I want to have the Masonic Temple. I want all of our allies, as many as we can, to come back in, because we used to do this all the time. We had people coming into our meetings, and you know, we had a guest where they could say a few words here and there, and we've gotten away from it. And the reason why we've gotten away from it is some internal issues that cause us to get away. But we have to get back to doing that, because you only have friends because you show yourself friendly. All right, so I have invited her. She says she's available on that day. That would be the 19th of October. Don't put that in there to be sure, but it's our meeting night, so look and make sure that that date is accurate. Okay?
Yes, the 19th.
Okay.
And who's coming again, Mary?
The county executive, and then she'll bring her group. She might even bring people, maybe from DPI, Department of Transportation. I don't know who all will be with her, but she'll be coming. Okay. On yesterday, I went to North Brentwood to attend the Elder Abuse Seminar, and you all will see some information that's out on the middle table. This information is saying keep yourself safe, and it was directed to seniors, but it was very interesting. It was like an hour-and-a-half program, but it gave us a good opportunity. It was sponsored by the Juanita Grant Foundation, so I'm quite sure she probably has grant funding. They want us to join in. They want to do the same thing here, so I can set it up if there's a desire. But when we set it up, we want to have some people come out to welcome them. Because yesterday, do you know they were packed? They had every chair filled down there in that community center. And that is wonderful. And they had a great opportunity. They had representatives from 4 entities. They had the police department. They had department the justice, what is the justice, and I forget the name of the justice agency. They had the state's attorney's office on the list, but they didn't send a representative. But it was so well attended, and people had a chance to talk about so many of the issues that concern them, especially telephone scams and all these financial information pieces as far as how people try to tap into your accounts, identity theft. It was just everything, and it was so interesting. So I want to see us do that here. It's not like we haven't done it before, and we can do it again. But we want to have a proud showing when we come out. So as soon as we get it scheduled and can get the people to come, I'll invite them out. Okay?
May I have a question?
Uh-huh.
Comment, rather. I think it's wonderful the town, have these type of events, county executives, these type of events.
Yeah.
But if we could really just put the blast out to the community, because just like we had a good showing today for our new police chief, I mean, this was, really great to have, where it was his family and his
It was.
supporting him. But like I said, when a county executive comes, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people in this town would like to come and meet her, ask questions, have concerns, be tied. And then the other thing, and this is just a very small comment, but could we put like a little something in the budget? I mean, 'cause just like today, this was a very nice special event. But could the town put together like a cookie and punch reception or something?
Oh yeah, we can do that. We can do that. And basically, yeah. And you know what? That was something that we used to always, but I had to run out and do the running for it. And today was just a busy day for me, so I didn't get a chance to pick up anything because I was gonna get cookies and some chips. And plus, what we have been doing is when we put out a real big layout, most of it wind up getting thrown away because people don't come. So that's why we have to, if people would start coming, we can start running back to the store and buying. It's not a problem to do it.
Not a regular meeting like this, but
Yeah.
special meeting, I mean,
Yeah.
the chief and county executive,
Right.
special meetings like that.
We'll see special meetings, yeah. And then one thing to say too, now, just wanted to let everyone know that you saw all the people that were here. That was people supporting the chief. That was the sheriff's department and his family.
Right, he did
So,
say
you know,
that, but with them
so,
supporting
yeah.
him, I mean, they
Yeah.
know, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Them supporting him is important,
Right.
for Town Heights as well, because if he needs to lean on someone, or he needs backup support, or,
He needs that. He needs it. Yeah, he needs it. So, yeah, so we can always do that, but like I said, we have to, hopefully we're gonna get the response because we have so much to be thrown away. A lot, if it's not used up. Yes, ma'am.
Just want to suggest that perhaps we can start to build our database where we can send out more emails and we can make more telephone calls and say, we're having an event, are you coming? Because that's for people like Tiffany too.
Yeah, okay, all right. Okay, another thing, you have something else?
No, that was just my suggestion.
Okay.
Because I've been wanting to find a way to build that database so that we can have a better way of contacting people, especially, we don't know when an emergency is gonna come, and you gotta tell everybody in Fairmount Heights, you better run and you better hide. So we need to find a way to build that database house to house.
Right.
So we can get into contact with people, whether it be a text message or whether it be an email.
Yeah.
The county almost everything that happens in this county, then everybody else, I get a text message or I get
Yeah,
an email.
that's true, that's true.
So, I'm
Okay.
saying,
But that's a good suggestion, good suggestion. Okay, and the last thing that I have, wait a minute, hold on for one moment then before I move on, because I have something else that I want to say also. Did you have something, Tiffany and Ms. White?
I was just gonna offer to let you all use my texting services.
Oh,
Yes,
thank you.
Yeah,
Oh,
let
okay.
me know when you need to send something, I can send it to all the, cell phones that we have in the database for Fairmount High.
Okay, okay, all right. That's great. Huh?
We have an extensive email list that we did give over to the town.
Okay, who'd you give it to, Ms. Tucker?
Yeah, Ms. Tucker
Okay.
asked it.
But she's saying she can contact me through.
I know her, so we would love to.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, you know.
Okay,
that.
so much.
For the book bag giveaway, I mean, we should have got new contact information, like new people that may, you know.
I don't know who took it, yeah. Okay, we did get some from the fish fry. We got some from there. Okay, all right, we're gonna move on down. I have one last item, just to talk a little bit about today. Now, the county executive also had a big event today, starting at 11 and going until 2 o'clock. It was to honor all the mayors in Prince George's County, and it was at the, over there at the center that we haven't been in a while, over in community, next to the community center, Prince George's Ballroom. It was over there, and it was beautiful because, you know, people were just happy to get out and greet each other, but it was set up very nice. And she had something very important in there, was concerning stress. They had a representative from Kaiser, and she talked about methods that you can use to de-stress yourself and just little exercise. It was very good, and everybody seems like they were taking full advantage of it because, you know, anybody can tell anyone who sits in the golden seats, they know that there is so much stress associated with it. So it was a very good activity for relief of stress. So I just wanted to report on those things, and I think that just about wraps it up for me. I'm going to start over here on this corner, and Councilmember Wade, that would be you. Well, it's okay. No. Let's start here. Come on, because we'll change that later.
Good evening, everyone. I actually had 3 bullet items, but it grew. I'm Chair Economic Development, therefore that's how my list grew, because most of what you're saying is referencing economic development to some degree or another. My bullet items would have been, is always a duplicate mention of Ms. Zaruman's report because we worked together. So I first want to say that our economic development meeting for last Thursday was canceled due to our meeting with the attorney. We had a meeting, meeting with the attorney, so we canceled. The Green Team meeting is scheduled for tomorrow. It will be canceled due to the unfortunate death of Ms. Grimm. I'm sorry, her mom. She usually is the one that facilitates that meeting, so I wanted to get those out of the way. Historic Preservation Review Board, she mentioned that there is dire need for a Historic Preservation Review Board. So we're asking the mayor and council community, more so the community, to come forth, volunteers for that review board. I guess it would end up with the approval of the mayor and council for the review board. We also, for economic development, I am the chair, but we don't have a co-chair. So we're looking for a volunteer for that. I would love to work with you. I want to make mention, since we're talking about improvements, that some time ago, this was years ago, Town of Fairmount Heights, there is an ordinance in place, I think a resolution rather, in place for us to be an enterprise zone, which gives tax incentive, I believe, for businesses. That was established some time ago. Now I want to move, which is very, very important. Ms. Barnhart, this is bringing your concerns back. These renderings here, I mention them every time we come into the meeting, and I don't want to refer to this property as 4.4 anymore. I'd like to refer to, and I'm not giving a name, as a legacy effort or legacy project. These are the renderings, and I'm gonna get up for a second because I tend to think when you don't have your vision before you lose track of it, and these are the other 2 renderings. Maryland University, I believe a team is going to work with them for them to present these renderings, but this is something from prior efforts. So, again, that was an initial vision, spent time, and there are the other two. Mr. Rumi did give me, I'm trying to get a soft copy of the description of each one. One is for, housing, and I think the other three are for mixed use. They each have a description for what the proposed plan is for their property, and they vary per the four, but then some can be combined. So what I am saying is the community needs to look at these two, these four, and see what was proposed to us, see if it's acceptable and or modify based on our needs assessment in the community. So therefore, to revisit what you said, Mr. Barnhart, to move forward, we're not holding any more economic development meetings. We're holding community meetings because we're now at a point where we need, one, and go sit back down. From the mayor and council, we need an approval to move forward with a request for a proposal for someone to come in and start working with us for the development, and that's for a developer. That's on the radar. I said the community meetings, I want to put under that umbrella the laws and ordinances moving forward. The only way for us to correct this is to do zoning. We already had the discussion. We have, county does the zoning. However, the ordinances and resolutions we do implement. So it's going to require the community to come together and take a look at what it is that we're proposing, the needs assessment for the community, and put those laws, those resolutions and ordinances in place accordingly moving forward, Mr. Barnhart, because I think per the community's concern, that's where we missed the mark before. So I am asking that the community come together as scheduled, and I know we're meeting allies, so forth and so on. It has been mentioned several meetings, but as we move forward, it may not take place until November, I don't know. But moving forward, I think it's conducive for us to start scheduling community meetings for community input for our economic development, for the Main Street and our legacy property. Can I make sure, in terms of communications, I know this falls on your purview, council member, but I did make mention of a newsletter with all of the database and the emails and the other suggestions. Another thing that we can put in place is a registration form for any event that we have to capture information and or to be able to send information. And that's something as simple as a Google form. So my suggestion is that every time we send something out, we send some form to capture information to start building our communication. And I think the best place for us with everything that's going on, my suggestion, I do have an ask I'm going to end with, but my suggestion would be that we get a newsletter out to the community because a lot has happened from May until now. There's a lot that we're working on, and I think the community should be informed of. Again, for your concern, Ms. Kim, that the community is informed in a timely manner so that they can participate. My last ask, again, I'm going to go back to my initial reference. I'm asking tonight if the mayor and council would approve us moving forward with a request for proposal or vote, whichever applies, RFP, for a developer to come in and begin to meet with us. You want to do that before you get the business? No, I'm making a suggestion. Yeah, I'm asking. I'm asking this way so that when we come into the next meeting or work session, we have done something between that time and now to begin the process. Yes, you asking me?
Yes. So I'm just, I'm saying, I'm asking a question, but at the same time, I'm asking for a request too. As I said earlier, I think the first step to this process is getting a land use attorney so we can get ordinances and legislation done. Then we can go ahead and bring in development, because that way we already have the law or the ordinances in place. I think that would be a good process.
It is. All I'm saying, Mr. Barnhart, is, we've been meeting in a silo, economic development, just a few of us. I'm saying it's now at a point where it's a community effort now. It's now beyond. just the 4 or 5 that meet once a month to discuss what we would like to see. Now it's time for the community to say, and this is, again, per your concern, the community concern, we keep talking about what are we going to do? What are we doing? How do we move forward? When are we going to move forward? Because right now those pictures have been sitting there for like 2 or 3 years and we haven't done anything about what was proposed to us for that. For that. So when do we put boots on the ground? When do we break ground? You know, ribbon cut. When do we do that? Because I'm going to bounce back to the mayor's report, not to be defensive or anything, but to say the mayor's attended quite a few things outside of our community that were good, and it's a good report. But we have nothing like that happening here. What kind of services or programs do we have? That's my, it's time for us to get together as a community to continue to, I'm going to say, not to move, but continue to move forward. We have a police chief, public works, doing things to improve. We're working on communication, public service, I believe. We have programming in place now. And I want to stop, push, pause, stand up, Councilmember Stewart, please, for an awesome job to move the public safety department forward. I'm done. Sorry, I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Osborne.
Oh, okay. Last time we spoke about equipping the public works with the necessary tools and equipments that they would need in order to go out there and effectively upkeep the environment in the neighborhood. So we tried to make strides in that area. I met with the town supervisor sometime last week. And to speak about how much funds we have available, and apparently we do have some money available that we can put into use. It was about $8,000, $8,000, yes. What we decided to do with that money is that, considering the fact that summer is winding down and they needed a lawnmower, but that would actually take most of the money. So we decided to go ahead and make purchases with doing seeing that fall is coming, so they're going to have quite a few areas to vacuum leaves. So we're going to invest in a leaf vacuum. And from my research, that doesn't cost too much. So in addition to that, costing maybe between $2,500 to about $5,000. That would leave us with an extra $3,000 we can use to get additional equipment like the weed whackers and other things that they might need to actually carry out their duties effectively. Ms. Rooney, we all agreed on what to get, so I expect you guys to be well equipped to go about doing the cleaning for the leaves and all of that, and once the funds are made available for the treasury.
On your radar too, that Public Works needs, I know this isn't just on you, but we haven't talked, we need another vehicle. We need another truck, and especially because we're getting into the winter.
Right.
And we've been blessed that we haven't had a hard winter. We haven't had a lot of snow to be removed, but former Mayor Waiters can tell you, all of you all as citizens, I'm sure remember the big snows that we've had. We're not fully equipped to handle large amounts of snow. And I don't know if we signed up to be on the county for them to assist us with snow removal, but that's something that we need to talk about sooner than later is another vehicle, a truck, with plows, and a full, not a half cab, a full cab, because we have, grown people that would need to be in that vehicle and sometimes for extended periods of time, especially if it snows. So in addition to the smaller equipment we do, we really need to move forward with a vehicle for Public Works.
Yeah, I think getting another vehicle has been a consensus among us all, and we're looking towards getting another vehicle.
In terms of, are you all looking into, I cannot remember exactly, is it leasing or purchasing, because I know with our trash truck, it is leased to own. So in terms of it's a pickup truck with an attachment, I believe, for the plow. So yeah, I'm not sure if you all have talked about that. Can you expand a little bit more on that, please?
I personally think it would be more economical to actually purchase the truck because, I mean, we're going to be using it extensively, other than, well, the maintenance would be on us, but I personally think it would be a more economical way to have the truck rather than leasing.
Economically, can we afford it though? Because if we leased our trash truck.
So the trash truck isn't leased, the dump truck is a lease to own, the trash truck is purchased.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think it was, and I don't remember 100%, I think, and Mayor Martin and Mr. Pinckney can speak better on it. I think it was leased to own just because the interest rate was better. But it doesn't have the restrictions that most leases have. It doesn't have the mileage restriction, some of the other restrictions. It doesn't have that. But that was just what that company was, I guess, offering at that time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Oscar, I complained on my street. We had a tree that was leaning over, almost touching the ground on a sidewalk, but people couldn't walk on that side. My neighbor, it's not his tree, but it's near his house. He had the tree cut down, had the sidewalk cleared off this week. He paid the tree service to do that. He would never come and ask for it. But how can we get his money back? He had to pay that tree service to do that. Just to make
And it was reported too. I mentioned it in the last town meeting as well.
He cleared the sidewalk. His address is 5902 K Street. And it's actually his neighbor's tree, but it was hanging in the wires. I got Pepco to come and cut it out the wires, but it was on the ground. But people had to walk in the middle of the street.
So the tree was on whose property? Was it on public property?
Yeah, it's on it was hanging on public property. All of these weeds and poison ivy had grown all over the sidewalk. People had to walk in the middle of the street. People turned the corner and speed down the street. Had mothers pushing their babies in the middle of the street, and it's been like that for a long time. So he had a tree cut down in his yard this week. So he just paid to have that tree cut down and the whole sidewalk cleaned off.
Well, I see where you're coming from, but to actually reimburse, I'm not sure if there's such a thing. But what we did, we went ahead and made a list of the different areas where you have the trees growing, and we're actually going to start considering hiring a contractor to cut the trees down.
Yeah, how will he get his money back?
I don't know.
That's why I say he did it on his own accord without consulting with Tom, and I am not sure.
I'm not sure either.
So
because I don't
considering it
think-
was mentioned in a public meeting before,
It's actually his tree, but it was such a nuisance. He's just a good guy. He's
Yeah.
getting ready to retire from his job. He's just a good person, so he just had to cut down his tree.
So that's what the citizen has to pay for it.
But,
Because it was on their property?
No, it was on the town property.
Oh, I thought it was on their
Excuse me, I'm sorry, but we on camera. We can table it until we get to
Yeah.
the point. We
Yeah,
go back and forth all day about who property it is.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay. All right, we're gonna move on with that because that could be a different type situation there. And I don't wanna make a determination for my part. So,
While we're
Councilmember.
talking about trees, I'm sorry if I may, while we're talking about trees, has there been any forward movement on the trees on 61st Avenue? Because not even 2 years ago, I sent the town pictures because, again, those tree limbs are hanging low in the street, and that's that high traffic area.
Yeah, I know. See if that particular one is on the list, Ms. Gladden. I'm not sure because we talked about it.
Mr. Pinckney did mark
Yeah, we talked about it, and I don't know how far up the list that one is, because we've had a contractor that's been doing a lot of the real dangerous ones. I don't know at what point yours, the one in front of your house is coming up, because I know there's one section there where one hangs, a couple of them hang real low. If that's the ones you're talking about, I don't know.
How's it being prioritized? Because when you say dangerous, I mean, that's a high traffic area.
Yes.
You know, a lot of people cut through Sheriff Road.
I know they do.
Mr. Rubin came out when I sent the pictures to the town. I mean, a bunch of the limbs had fallen off in the street. Mr. Rubin came out herself and said, you know what, her SUV, those same trees, the limbs hanging down, has damaged her SUV, has gotten caught in her SUV. So this town has a lot of lip service.
We have a lot of.
I mean, but like, how's it being prioritized? I mean, what's
Okay, that's what, I don't have that list in front of me now.
Okay.
Because we have talked about it in several meetings. So I'm gonna need to verify that, and Mr. Pinckney, maybe you could tell me a little bit more about where we are on the list as far as getting, I know we couldn't get everything done at once. I know that, but it seems like that one was on the list where the trees were hanging down into the street. I remember something talking about it, but I don't know how far it is up on the priority list.
We just need to finalize. You guys have the proposals. We need to determine which vendor we're going to use. Because the trees were not ranked as far as this is a priority or that's a priority. Some of the trees that were on the list, because they have fallen or they presented a danger, have been removed. But of the three proposals, again, you have Green Tree, which they gave prices for all the locations. The total to remove everything would be $11,922. You have Brightview, but they did not go to all the locations.
Okay.
So other locations they went to is $7,523, and then you have Fine Line, which did go to all the locations, and their total would be $24,250. So of the three, the vendor that has the lowest price point would be Green Tree, and that does include the stump grinder. Keep in mind that Fine Line has been the vendor that has been used, for emergency tree removal, because that vendor has been more available than the other vendors. So, but the trees were not, the areas were not ranked as far as this is a priority or that's a priority. When Mayor Martin and Mr. Pinckney sat down with me, they gave me all the areas that have been identified, and then the vendors, the trees were marked, and then the vendors were sent to those locations. But I will make a note of 61st. You're saying 61st Avenue. Okay, and I'll put you out, because 61st Avenue is on here, but it's 3 trees on 61st Avenue. So I'll get with you to see if that. Okay. Okay. All right. You can see the cost right here to prove those trees. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you. I think the next person was Councilmember White already.
So in the past month, we've had a lot going on. So in the past month, we've had a lot going on between the new police chief, also working events and things like that. In terms of, I'm just going to go down the list for my report. So I understand that Mrs. Sarumi needs help maintaining the website and other non-traditional avenues in which we communicate. So that includes, cell phones, emailing lists, updating the website, which is really, in terms of communications, a treasure trove of things. But taking this into account, I have reached out to the local universities such as Bowie and University of Maryland, so we can try to get some outreach from them concerning whether we can get a student partnership between the town and the universities in hopes of filling the gap until we have more funding in which we can make a permanent position that encompasses website maintenance and media production. I have also done outreach in other communities in the in a past month, such as the Chevrolets Women's Club. I have been invited to decorate a little free library, which really gave me the inspiration to improve branding in this town with small things, such as the little free libraries. I know you all are familiar with them. They are the small book boxes where you put in a book, you take a book, you leave a book, things like that, which really help to not only make a town look like a town, but it really helps with unifying things, especially now where we have a library, the closest library to us, that is under renovation. We have, a lot of things going on right now. As Ms. Waiters mentioned in the work session, where are those children going now that the library is closed? Not only them, but considering, the Dream Lab. I've used the Dream Lab in the past when, I didn't feel like paying for Photoshop that month. That whole top floor really is a mecca for, musically and for music and art, because you not only have the cameras, you have the music studios and things like that. So in terms of that, and to also circumvent the fact that we're now enforcing, or PG County is now enforcing the youth curfew, the local recs have extended their hours, and I can get more on that, but pgparks.com has all of the new hours for these rec centers. But I think it's really important that I get that out there, that they have extended the hours to try to help with the fact that we don't have a library right now. And so going back to the little free library, I think for our town, that would be a great opportunity to try to build some community activity, not only in terms of community as the residents, but also outreach to the closest schools, Seat Pleasant, as well as Robert R. Gray. In terms of purchasing an already made one, they're about $180, so they're not that expensive. But you can also make one, which would be a great outreach. And I would be the first to volunteer my time on weekends to try to get one done. And with that, also with Miss Stewart, who's just been hitting it out the park. She really came in running. She's donated 2 new refrigerators, or is it 1 refrigerator? 2 new refrigerators, or newer, gently used refrigerators to the municipal building, which have really been a great help. But with the introduction of the new refrigerators, we also have an old one, which I really think we have a great opportunity to make something out of it. Local cities have been doing community fridges and pantries. This is something I really want community input on, because it would be affecting, the people in the general vicinity. If this were to be placed at the town hall or outside of it, it would be affecting the residents immediately living in the area. So that's something I would really love feedback on, but also something I would be really excited about doing, along with Ms. Wood Dotson and her donation connections. We would be able to, provide food to fill this pantry and fridge at least once a week from the local grocery stores. And another area of interest this month, which has really popped up with, a really great need, as we're, expanding in technology. There's a problem within the town in terms of surveillance and where that surveillance is placed privately. So we have some instances where, residents are putting cameras on public utility poles. So that's a kind of a problem. So if you have one on your house, everyone has a Ring nowadays. Especially we're so close to DC, you kind of need it to ensure you have something if something goes wrong. But in terms of putting cameras as well as other obstructions on utility poles, that's a problem, not only for immediate residents in the area, but for the town as a whole, because those are Pepco poles, those are telecommunication poles. That's a really big problem. If we have anything, you know, that isn't from us or these companies that put the poles up on the poles, that can be a really big issue. It can cause problems with the structure of the poles themselves. Also for the people who have to maintain them. So it really falls back on the town as well. So with that, and the problems that we have seen in the past month, we have created a draft of an ordinance, me, as well as Ms. Barnhart and Ms. Stewart, to try to quell those. I put some copies over there as well. I would love to hear feedback. But it's basically a ordinance for the code of ordinances for the obstruction attachments to poles. So I would really, really love if you all would take a look at that. But I do feel like it's very important that we have that in place, not only for this specific, you know, incidents, but in the future. Surveillance state is getting a lot bigger. I'm sure you all wouldn't be comfortable with just having cameras on public poles, and we don't want to do that to our citizens. We want to ensure the health and safety of our residents. So that is something to look into. And that is all for my report. Yes.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention. I mean, I think that is really scary that people are, you know, putting these things up. But my question is, in consideration of creating an ordinance, as you mentioned, the poles don't belong to Fairmount Heights.
Yes.
They belong to the utility companies or, you know, Pepco or whoever they belong to. So does Fairmount Heights have a jurisdiction to create an ordinance for something that we don't have ownership of? And secondly, I'm sorry, has it been reported to Pepco or, you know, because each pole, as we know, has a number on it. You know what I mean? So has these observations been reported?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So we have reached out to the town lawyer who it will, you know, really give us the counsel that we need on this situation, as well as Pepco. We're waiting to hear feedback on both. But I will tell you, this is not an out of the ordinary or extreme ordinance for other towns. And also, when you really look at this, even though it is their poles, they entrust us to maintain them. And so if our residents are, you know, doing anything that could fault those poles, it's not only, you know, a problem for them, it's a problem for us because it falls back to us. And that even goes, you know, not even cameras, it can be basketball hoops, things like that. So it's just a general ordinance so we can really nip this in the bud before things get, you know, anyone gets any ideas or anything like that. Yes.
And we do have a Pepco liaison, right? Isn't that the gentleman that came in to get us the Pepco charging station? And we reached out to him?
Mr. Ruffin.
Yes, Mr. Ruffin.
Will he be the same contact for something like this, or?
We can definitely reach out to Mr. Ruffin, get some directive, and along with the advice of the attorney, and then talk with Mr. Ruffin before that goes forward. I think that's the best idea.
Yes. I would also like to state once again, this is a draft. So nothing is being voted on in terms of tonight. This is all for your consideration. I just want to be completely open with the process. Thank you.
Okay.
I just wanted to commend you. That's all I want to say. I want to commend you.
Thank you, ma'am.
First of all, because you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're legislating. You're writing something that's going to make a difference in this town, not for now, but years to come. So I just want to commend you.
Thank you. Okay. And we really have to, I don't mean to go on too long, but we really have to think about this because not even in terms of, you know, light poles, but we went, Ms. Barnhart and I went to a meeting a couple of months ago where other towns are saying they're pulling up the 5G poles and they're putting in 10G in the coming years. So it's just so many things to think about, and especially, like with public works, that kind of stems the line. But, we always try to keep abreast, and we go to the public works meetings as well, Ms. Barhart and I. Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Good report, Rick. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Councilmember Wood Johnson.
I attended the senior outing that they have in Watkins Park, and it was tables on top of tables in regard to funeral and cemetery fraud for seniors. I'm going to pass it on to communication so a lot of this can go on the network and can be filtered out into the community about senior abuse, about seniors having checklists for safeties in their house and homes, fire escapes that's created for seniors. On the 29th, Sheriff High, as we participated with the Purple Light in the community as well, it's the 29th. So the 29th will be Purple Light ceremony in the communities. They used to give us lights. It might be a way, I guess, to you finding out where you get them from. We used to get them and have them in a box, and it was passed out to the community. I have information in regard to safety for seniors. So I have this coming, hopefully it'll be books here for all seniors, the resource guidebooks, where anything a senior might want for the year to 21, it will last for a couple of years, the information that you would need in regard to resources. And the clothes pantry is filling up. Hopefully soon we'll be sending out a flyer in regard to the Harvest Day, the day it will be, and those that want to contribute, bring donations candy-wise in. Hopefully First Baptist Church and the Masons, I've called, they supposed to be, and she said they're coming next month. Between now and then, they'll call me back with possibly being a part of the trunk or treat in the back, where our kids can all come to one central location. And that's my report.
Thank you.
Oh, and Oktoberfest is the 1st of October, where the kids can go down and have a fun day. It's open for seniors as well as children.
12 noon to 5 p.m.
Yes, so that'll be on the website. And the October the 15th Going Green program, they have that as well. I mean, I've given her a lot of information that will be on our TV, as well as hopefully, like they're saying with the newsletter, a lot of this can go out and make seniors aware of how to make themselves safety, that reside alone, are left alone, or can help one another in conversing with one another. Hopefully this will help us develop a robocall.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Barnhart.
Good evening, everyone. I was going to piggyback off her Oktoberfest is at Watkins Park from 12 noon to 5 p.m. To avoid the ticket line with the purchase of all access wristband for food and vendors that included $15 for the early birds in September 30th. It costs $20 at the gate. The town of Fairmount Heights will be also having a Harvest Festival Day on October 29th. We won't be having it inside the town hall. We'll be having it actually outside in the parking lot. It's more of a trunk or treat October festival that we'll be doing. Donations are welcome to any type of candy apples, anything the town can distribute.
Why you say candy apples?
Because they're candy apples. And I know you love making candy apples. The kids also have popcorn and like refreshments as well, of getting their candy bags. We are actually want to contact the lodge over here to see if we can actually merge everything all into one day instead of having a day location. I would rather have it here at the town of Fairmount Heights. It's more safer and convenient for the kids. Don't have to keep running back across to Addison Road. So the date that we're looking at is October 29th for this event. Thoughts? 4. Yep, from 4 to 6. Beltsville, Martin Luther King Jr. Middle School on September 24th is doing the Electronics Recycling Household and Waste Disposal Day. Again, Martin Luther King Jr. Middle School on September 24th, which is this Saturday, from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Any electronic household items, any electronic recycling, they're having waste disposal day on that day. So mark your calendars. How to obtain a special event permit is a webinar on Thursday the 22nd, which is tomorrow at noon. You can actually go on the DPIE website to register. Let me see. Save the date, Fall 2022 Community Partners Meeting, DPIE and DOE and DPWNT. Invite you to join as we share information about programs, services, and new incentives. Wednesday, September 28th, between the hours of 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Register on Zoom. That information will be also provided on the website as well. Special invitation for, I believe this is September 28th. Community Partners meetings are scheduled from 9 to 11 a.m. That will also be provided on the website as well. At this time, I have nothing else to report.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Stewart.
Residents, council, how's everybody doing tonight? I know it's getting late, so I'm gonna keep it short. I wrote this long paper, but I'm gonna paraphrase. The new chief his official start date is October 10th. We know that's a federal holiday, but he's gonna be here. I've been working with him to ensure he has a smooth transition into the town. That's why I requested $2,000 for uniforms and miscellaneous items that he'll need. Again, he's gonna purchase it and then the town reimburse him for his purchases. He was able to take 2 guns to the armory because we have to make sure they are operational. So he had to take them to the armory to get them cleaned and tested, and then he'll qualify with them. He took all 5 of the radios that were in the back to the communication shop for rekeying and reprogramming. We found out that 3 radios are unaccounted for, but after speaking to a few council members, we believe 1 radio was with former council member Glenn Morris, which we're gonna try to get that back. We also believe that maybe Chief Reese from Forest Heights may have 1, and that was Chief Ivy's radio. So that's 2. We still missing 1, but we're gonna track it down. I provided the chief with Chief Reese's contact information so he can be direct with him and he can have like a mentor to help him out whenever he needs help. Let's see, I hate to keep saying So Friday we had a shred event here. It was sponsored by Keisha Merritt, Ms. Wood Dawson's daughter. And it was a very nice event. Ms. Capers, you was there. Waiters came, Ms. Wood Dawson was there. We need to do that event again. We didn't get a large turnout. I believe that may have fell on our end because we didn't really publicize it enough, but we need to do that again. I know there are more people in this community that could really use a shred event. They shredded the stuff right in front of you. You put it in the bin, they shredded it immediately, so you didn't have to worry about nobody going through the bins looking through your personal items. Huge success. One of the things Keisha did was she had a UR code, is that what it's called? And you basically took a picture of it, input your information, and then it just went to a Google form. We need to really start using that as a town instead of these writing it out type of thing. And October 26th, we're going to schedule a official meet and greet for the chief. Be looking out for follow-up information on that. We will have light refreshments at that event, sponsored by the town. But we will do an official meet and greet. Please, if you're not doing anything, come out, meet your chief, talk to him, address your concerns of what's going on in this community, and let's collectively take us to the next level. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all very much.
Yes.
So in the last meeting, there was mention of a strategic plan that will be shared with the community from the new chief, our new chief.
He provided us with a copy. I'm going to let him provide that with you to everybody on the 26th. I mean, unless you really need a copy right now. But he does have a plan.
Okay.
But I'm going to let him present that, and he can explain line by line what he means. It's a great plan. You're really going to like it.
This is separate to the community. Councilmember, she's not saying it, but that's her. She wanted to present the recommendation, rather, to present him to the community, like he came before us. But you guys have time with him, if I'm not mistaken, with him in the space where you need to be in with him. And so, to answer your question, she rather, correct me if I'm wrong, that he present the strategic plan to you guys.
Yes, as a whole.
So is that separate from the meet and greet?
No, it's going to be on that day.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
With the food, with the light refreshments. Don't forget that part.
Okay, man, welcome, but it sounds like presentation, that's all going to be part of the meet and greet.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
gotcha. Okay.
He gonna give us the state of Fairmount Heights. It'll give him enough time to go through the community, get a feel for what's going on, and then come back and report what he observed.
Good idea.
Oh, one more question. I'm always saying that, but one more question.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's great that we got a police chief. It's awesome. So thank you. Thank the town. Thank you. But has there been talk of building our police? I mean, I know it starts with him.
That's in his strategic plan.
Okay.
Let him, I don't wanna spoil nothing for you. Come back on the 26th of October and hear his plan.
Okay.
You will be impressed.
Okay. What time is that? Do we have time yet?
I don't know. I haven't,
Yeah,
I didn't know about the date.
We just confirmed with him today.
Well,
I did. I'm sorry.
See, that's what I'm saying. So it'll be good if we could just sort of agree on the date and the time, and let's plan this together. I think it'd be great.
Okay.
Because the community is waiting to see him. Like I said, when we did the swearing in, we've been waiting for you.
Yes.
We have.
I apologize for not doing that, but
Okay.
it was, I just got the information today.
Yeah.
And I was excited to share.
Okay. All right, so we're going to move on. I want to thank everyone for your patience and for all the time that we've spent here. I think it's been time well spent. So at this time, if there's anything that's going to be good for the organization, someone would like to say something from the community, if you all can do that now, you can sort of take your turns or do whatever you think is best, because I know we've had a lot of opportunities to talk tonight. So if there's anything for the good of the organization, would you please let us know now? You have something?
I like to go, but if anybody else like to say
Okay.
something first, I'll go.
Okay, you probably gonna have to come up to here in order for the people, there are still some people on the line, so in order for them to hear it, you might have to come to a mic. This one might still be open too. Yeah, no, you go first, and then who else besides you, Mr. Barnhart? Okay.
Well, thank you. I know the hour's late, so I'll be really quick. I'm also having a community listening session. Flyers are outside. It's going to be at 3 different locations. What I want to do is allow anyone from the community to come. Let me know how your government's working for you, not municipal government in general, federal, state, local, so that I can create an agenda moving forward in Annapolis. Any constituent concerns I need to address, any laws we need to change. I want to hear whatever your problems are. Feel free to bring good stuff too, but any issues that you all are having, that's the purpose of it. We're going to write everything down. We're going to listen. We're going to listen. We're going to actually listen, and then I'm going to send something out to everyone, letting them know everything that happened at all 3 of the listening sessions, so that we can follow up with you and you all can hold me accountable to doing what I said I'm going to do. That's one. There was a young lady that came earlier. She had to go. Her name is Ashley Kearney. She's running for school board. She left some literature outside, and I just wanted to let you all know she did come. She's raising her, helping raise her two nieces. One is a student at Fairmount Heights High School. The other one is a student at Highland Park. She's a presidential awardee for teaching mathematics. Very intelligent young lady. I hope you all take a look at her and consider her. You have some excellent candidates for school board. It's a nonpartisan race, but that's going to be probably one of the few contested races. So please check her out, check the candidates out, and make an informed decision. And early voting starts October 27th. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Thank you so very much, Tiffany. And please, everyone, before you actually leave, Tiffany.
Yes, ma'am.
One thing that we want to put on your heart is that we are definitely trying to have a bond bill sponsored by this session because of the fact that we know that we have so much that needs to be done in this building because this was the old health department and it's very, very ancient. And there are a lot of needs, and we've had the plumbers to come in here 2 times this week. The things that are leaking, other things that have gone wrong. We have gaps here with the building when we had the last earthquake and everything. So we have needs. So if you can, keep in touch with us, we need to get sponsorship for that bond bill. We want to try to push the bond bill through.
All right, anything I can do to help.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yep, it's,
I have your number.
okay, yeah, thank you. Okay, I'll give it to you. Thank you. It's on one of these forms.
Okay.
It's to my phone, but yeah, I can give it to you.
Okay. All right, so thank you very much for coming and for your patience. Yes. All right, so Mr. Barnhart, you're the only person who can come on.
Yeah. Well, y'all tired of me talking, but it's okay. Okay. Somebody got to do it.
We've been listening to you. You're the closest for a long time.
So, good evening, everyone. My name is Martez Barnhart, the president of the Citizen Association here in Fairmount Heights. I first of all want to thank God for what He has been doing for this town. This town is moving forward. We are moving forward. We've come a long way. We got a long way to go, but we're showing progress. We just announced today that we have a new chief. Our mayor and council is working diligently and getting things done in the town with our treasurer and our town manager. Things are moving. And I just want to say, most of all, thank you to our citizens that's on TV, Channel 11, in the community, because I tell you this, without citizens' input, your taxpaying dollars, things cannot get done. So the citizens. So that's all the good stuff right there. So the bad stuff is this. Now you always do the good stuff first. So we have 2 major concerns right now. As a citizen association, we address issues that come to us from our citizens. And we have to make sure that we do that because that's what we're put in position to do, to address issues that citizens bring to us on a weekly basis, monthly basis, yearly basis. Yeah. Right now, this is the survey from the Melvin's Crab House Project. These are citizens that's in the impacted area that's opposed to this project. And I'm presenting this to the mayor and council today as evidence, proof, or whatever they need to do with this. They say that the Citizen Association has provided this information as input of what the citizens want at the Melvin Crab House Project. So Mayor, I'm gonna hand this over to you.
Okay.
Okay.
We will get copies for each council member, and we'll have these available so that when we have the discussion, you gonna make them there? Okay, all right, sounds good.
The next thing is we are currently working on the survey for 737 61st Avenue. We're still getting signatures on that so we can turn that in as well. We want to go ahead and turn that portion of those surveys in, because those were completed. So that's why we turned those in today, and the other set of surveys will be done probably in the next week or two, hopefully before the next meeting that UCAP comes to. The next concern that we have would be...
You say two.
Say it again.
You say two.
Two.
Okay, go ahead, go on, because we're trying to get out of here.
Yeah, we're trying to go home.
Okay.
Hurry up. All right, so the next thing would be is we have concerns about certain council members not attending meetings and not participating in town's events. I personally have noticed it myself, but I figured that things will work itself on out. But when citizens start expressing these concerns and bringing it to the mayor and council attention, we would like to see something done. And what was said was, when you have council members that's appointed or elected and they're receiving a stipend, at that time they are required to do their due diligence and do their duties as a council member and do the job.
Mayor and council.
Mayor and council.
Yeah.
Your stipend is tax-paying dollars. That's what your stipend is. And with that being said, because we are a government, we all have a job that we have to do. Okay, so I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to, go any further with this, but I'm letting it be known that we are all being watched. We are all being watched of how we're doing things as a government and how we represent ourselves for the people of Fairmount Heights. And I just want to say that we need to do a better job in doing some things, and we can do it. We can do it. We just got to take pride in doing it. With that being said, I thank everybody for allowing me to speak, and y'all have a nice night.
All right, thank you, Mr. Barnhart. Okay, I think we still have people on the line. Did you have something else, Ms. Glad?
Yes, I just have one follow-up question. In the work session, I think it was Ms. Safax that brought up the concern about the attorney. Considering he's now been elected as a judge, and there was some concern if he's still able to serve in his position as town attorney, but that didn't come up on the agenda. So I was just wondering, has there been any follow-up or discussion on that?
No, it didn't come up on the agenda, but he did mention that, well, the question was posed to him when he came for a meeting with us, must have been last Friday. One of those days, we had a closed session, and yes, he's been appointed to the juvenile court.
Right.
He's a juvenile judge, the orphans court.
Right.
Orphans court, and he said that he's been doing this since February, and that he does it on a part-time position. He gave us the layout for everything he does. He said it would definitely not interrupt his service to the town. He talked about how many years he's worked with us and all of this kind of thing, but no, he mentioned that. He said it's not going to interrupt him representing us.
Right, but is it by his choice, or is there something in his,
Oh, I don't know why.
judge contract,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
So, because, I just want to get this out so there's not any confusion. Because this was a serious question, and one that we took very seriously, because we were all, wondering the same thing, none of us are lawyers. He laid it out very clear to us that, I'm sorry, my mic just turned on and confused me, but he laid out very clear to us that he had to give up a substantial chunk of his cases in order to, so it was like a trade for orphans court. He said upwards of 50 cases he had to let go of in order to take it. And he also said some other things, if anyone would care to elaborate, but I just want to make it clear that, we did ask this question, and he did say a lot more than that.
But just for clarification, Fairmount Heights is not a case. I mean, we're not a court, you know what I mean?
Yes,
So when you say he gave us his cases, him representing the town is not a case.
So over estates.
Well, he
needed to the workload.
The workload,
Yeah, the workload.
his workload.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if the court system or part of his court employment saying he could have other outside, I don't know if he has a contract with the court, how that works.
I don't think it's a conflict. That's what he was talking about, it not being a conflict. Yeah.
Ms. Alston, do you have something you can
Yeah,
shed
so
light?
he's not allowed, if it's the Orphans Court in Prince George's County, he can't do any kind of estate work. He can't write wills, do estate planning, no estate work in the state. And in particular in Prince George's County. But Orphan Court judges actually still carry on regular practices outside of that, and they have other jobs because it's considered part-time. They only sit like 1 day a week.
Yeah, he said that.
So,
He mentioned
Thank you
that.
for clarifying.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, all three of them still work.
Okay. Yeah, he mentioned that. Thank you. Okay, so let me, I need to probably go to the line.
Yeah, you
We
do.
need to make sure, because I forgot all about, we haven't even had them to come
I
on.
already told her.
Oh, you don't have, okay, so you have something else for that?
Just you mentioned.
Okay.
Mr. Barnhart referenced his concern about meetings. Madam Mayor, you read at the beginning of the meeting, I don't know whether Ms. Barnhart was here or not, the resolution that was put in place for, it was adopted for meeting rules of the town and council. The resolution is here, however, Madam Mayor, it references the rules and the rules are not attached.
Yeah, I think there was something that was on the front, that the timing was not right.
Okay.
And that was the reason why that was left off, but we're gonna attach all of that and put it in everyone's box.
Okay.
It has timing, meeting timing, somehow or another it wasn't on there.
It's just broken
Yeah, there
down.
was some other things too, but that was one of the main things. I think the reason why it wasn't passed out because that was the error on that part.
Okay.
But it
She's
worked
just
great.
talking about the meeting timings, how much time you have to speak. Also, if you know, oh, no. I'm talking about clarifying for the rules we have before we start the meeting.
No, that's not, no.
Oh, that's not.
No, it's not the same. Those are meeting logistics. No, we're referring to an ordinance that was put in place that speaks to council of marriage per se, but it's an extension of the charter rules pertaining to the mayor and council. How many meetings you can miss, the conduct of the council, while we're in meetings or whatever, not to the extent of the timing, but more so your responsibility. So the ordinance was passed, but what I'm saying is those specifics, it's like 2 pages that should be with that.
Yes.
What to explain.
Yeah.
But it just refers to the rules, but it doesn't show you the rules.
Okay.
Those don't-
All right, so the rules are forthcoming.
Yeah.
They're forthcoming. There were 2 corrections that had to be made on the paperwork. So once they're made, they're gonna be in your, yeah, it's gonna be in it'll be in your box. Everybody have a copy in your boxes. Ms. Tucker was working on that, I think it was yesterday. But it's gonna be in your box. It's gonna be in your box. So let's find out whether there's was there anything in the chat?
There are no comments in the chat, no
Okay.
questions. So we have a few people. I'm going to unmute myself so they can hear me clearly. If anyone does have any questions online, now is your time to ask them. Someone not used to this.
Yes, we got a card.
Okay, all right.
Excuse me.
Understand?
Yes.
Having such luxuries.
Okay, all right. You can just tell them, just tell them thank them for joining by way of
I would like, this is the clerk to the council, Charlie Span. I would like to thank all of you for being here. Are there any persons on the line who would like to speak for public participation? Mayor Marvin, hearing none, I guess we move forward.
All right, well, thank you very much. I think we've gotten everyone that's in the room. We have all the council members. If we haven't, just let me know now. One thing that I did forget to mention, I want to thank the members of the committee, the search committee that put the whole police process in action. First of all, I definitely want to say thank you to Mr. Edmund Sheffield. I sent him a message to say thanks, and thanks to Ms. Pat Webb, and to Chief Reese from Forest Heights Police Department, to, Assistant Chief, what is his last name? Hale. Assistant Chief Hale, and they were, I think, to Mr. Rumi, because she was very, very effective as far as getting all these things together and pulling out, getting people scheduled and getting everything done. It's not just the work of one person that is done. I don't even talk about my work because I'm just ongoing. My work is ongoing. But I wanted to put that in the record. Those people were very, very helpful in bringing this to fruition, what we saw tonight. So I want to say thanks to them, and I want to give them some applause also. Okay, so at this time, I will accept the motion for adjournment.
I would like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. All in favor? All right, the ayes have it. We're adjourning at 10:28.